A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Life of Mary Sothern, the dramatic story of an attractive young widow who is standing on the threshold of a new life, uncertain but unafraid. And now, the life of Mary Sothern. Mary is trying heroically to solve the most serious problem a widow and mother can face. The problem of providing a home for herself and her children through her own efforts. Moreover, feeling instinctively that she must build a new life in new surroundings, she has refused to return to her hometown of Sanders. Dr. John Benson of Sanders, who loves her, has warned her repeatedly that it may be months before she will find a job and be able to have her children with her. Meanwhile, her new friends in Craig's Falls, David and his friend Father Brady, made final plans yesterday to surprise Mary by bringing her children to Craig's Falls, and they obtained John Benson's reluctant consent. But Mary, sensitive and despairing, felt that her personal problems were causing her friends too much worry, and decided that her only solution was to return to Sanders. Our scene opens at the boarding house early the following afternoon. Mary, wearing a hat and coat and carrying her suitcase, is walking slowly down the stairs as Mrs. McPherson sees her and says,
Mary, where are you going? Why, you got your suitcase.
Yes, I'm going away. Back to Sanders to see my children.
Mary, put that suitcase
down. No,
please,
I haven't much time.
Well, you got time enough to tell me what this is all about.
There isn't anything to explain, Mrs. McPherson. I'm going back to Sanders because my children are there.
But you've been saying all along you were going to bring your children here. You hated the idea of going back. Now, what made you change your mind so suddenly?
I don't know. I guess I decided to be sensible and practical, as John advises.
Oh, I knew it. It's that Dr. Benson. I told you not to talk to him yesterday. He always upsets you. Now, you take that suitcase upstairs and you forget all about that town of Sanders.
I can't forget Sanders, Mrs. McPherson, as long as my children are there. John's right. It may be months before I'm able to support them.
Oh, that young doctor wants you back there because he's in love with you. Even a blind man could see that. Mary, is that why you're going back? Are you thinking of marrying him?
Oh, no, I'll never marry John. Don't think that. And please don't let David think that when he hears I've gone.
Why, Mary, you're not going away without saying goodbye to David.
I was planning to tell him last night, but he didn't come home.
He never did that before. But he certainly sounded mysterious when he called up and said he was going out of town overnight.
I don't believe there was anything mysterious about it. He probably heard about a construction job in another town. Maybe he'll never come back.
Well, you can't make me believe that, young lady, and I'm surprised at you for saying such a thing. Maybe you've forgotten that David turned down that job in Chicago because he wanted to stay here with you.
Please, Mrs. McPherson, don't let's talk about David. He's been so kind and good, and he means a great deal to me. If I waited to talk to him, I might not leave. He'd urge me to stay as you're doing. That's because you're kind, sympathetic people. But I've let you worry about my troubles long enough.
Mary Sanders, you've got less conceit than any woman I ever met. Don't you know that David wouldn't worry about your troubles if he didn't like you a whole lot? And if you hadn't done as much for him as he's done for you?
It's good of you to say that, but I think David will be happier without me. I'm almost sure he thinks I'm wrong in wanting to bring my children here, and that's why I'm going. If everyone thinks I'm wrong, I must be.
Mary, whatever gave you that idea? David wants you to stay here and to have your children.
Well, someone's coming. I must go.
Mary!
Oh,
Mary!
Thank heaven. David's come back. I kept you talking long enough for
David,
that.
I thought you'd gone away.
Oh, just made an overnight trip, Mary. Say, what's all this? Why the suitcase?
Oh, she's got a crazy idea that she's going back to Sanders.
What?
And I'm counting on you to argue her out of it, David. I got to get back to Tipton.
Well, there's no time to argue. Come on, Mary. We're going over to the neighborhood house now.
But, David, my bus leaves in half an hour. Now, I've made up my mind. I can't stay away from my children any longer. Mm-hmm. I'm going back to Sanders.
Well, buses leave every hour. You can take a later one. Come on, let's get going.
Well, you don't even care whether I go back to Sanders or not?
I don't care about anything at the moment but getting you over to the neighborhood house in record time. And after that, if you still want to go to Sanders, I'll go down to the bus station and see you off myself.
This isn't the way to Father Brady's office. I thought we were going to see him.
No, I didn't tell you that, Mary. You must have assumed it.
But I don't understand. This corridor only leads to the nursery.
Yes, I guess it does.
Well, David, I really haven't much time. When you asked me to come here to the neighborhood house, I thought Father Brady wanted to see me, and I feel I should say goodbye to him.
Oh, there's plenty of time for that later. He's around somewhere.
But there isn't plenty of time. Why won't you listen to me? I've definitely decided to go back to Sanders to my children,
well,
David.
Sure, I heard you, Mary. Well, if you've really made up your mind, well, I don't see what I can do about it. I'll miss you, of course, but...
Well, you're in a strange mood today. I don't understand it.
You will in a minute, Mary. Here we are. Now, I'll open the door.
David, won't you please tell me why you
There you
brought
are,
me
Mary.
here?
Now, you go in first. Go ahead. And I'll be back later.
Mommy! Jimmy, look at your mommy! I can beat you running, so I'll get to her first.
Susan, Jimmy. Oh, my darling, my baby.
Mommy, you've been gone a long time,
Oh,
Mom.
my darling. Oh, I feel as if I'm dreaming. Are you really here in my arms again?
Jimmy said we'd never see you again, Mommy. But I told him he was a big fibber.
It's been so long. So very long.
Susan used to cry every night after you went away, Mom, but I didn't. Not much. Yes, you did, Jimmy. You won't go away again, will you, Mommy?
Oh, no, darling, never. Never. I can't believe it's true that you're really here.
Uncle John said we were going to stay here for a little while. Is this where you live, Mom?
Well, I live very near here, darling. Jimmy, is John Denson here? Did he bring you to Craig's Falls?
Sure, he drove us in his car. It was a swell ride. That other man came too, Mommy. I liked him. He told us wonderful stories about animals and Indians and everything.
Other man, dear? Oh, you mean David?
Sure, David, that's his name. I like him, too. He said he'd take us for a long walk tomorrow and show us the falls and everything.
Jimmy, did David go to Sanders last night?
Well, I don't know about last night, Mom, but he was there this morning when we started.
So that was his errand out of town. He went to Sanders with John to get my children.
Aren't we going back to Sanders to live in our house like we used to, Mommy?
Well, we may decide to live here in Craig's Falls, darling, but let's not talk about that now.
I don't care where we live with you, Mommy.
Wherever we live, we'll all be together, darling, I promise.
David says Craig's Falls is a big city. He said we'll have lots more fun here than we did in Sanders. I like Sanders when Mommy's there with us.
You like Craig's Falls, too, darling. We're all going to be very happy here. Oh, Susan, Jimmy. Oh, let me look at you. I believe you've grown half an inch, both of you.
I'm telling Sue, ain't I, Mom? You are not, Jimmy.
Well, now, there's just one way to tell. Now, stand back to back. Oh, Jimmy, now, not on tiptoe.
Hello, Uncle John.
Hello,
We
kid.
found our Mommy just like you said
Oh,
we
John,
would.
I'm so happy, so very happy.
That, Mary, but...
Oh, Uncle John, Mom says we're going to be with her all the time now. She's never going to leave us again, she promised.
John, I feel as if I'm dreaming. This has been the most wonderful day of my life. I'll be back in just a minute, darlings. I want to talk to Uncle John.
Don't go, Mommy. Please
We'll be
don't
right
go. Be sure to come back.
Yes, dear, I'll be right here just outside the door.
I'm glad you're happy, Mary.
Happy? There just aren't words to tell you how I feel. How grateful I am to you, John. Were you planning this all the time, even yesterday when you sounded so disapproving?
Mary, I didn't plan this. I didn't think it was wise to bring Susan and Jimmy here, and I still don't think so. You'd better thank the man who's responsible. Here he comes now. I'll see you later.
Hello, Mary. Do you still want to catch that bus for Sanders?
Oh, David. Now I know why you were so unconcerned about my going. John says you're responsible for bringing my children to me.
Oh, I didn't do anything but talk to Father Brady. He's the one you're to thank, not me.
I think the best way to show my gratitude is to prove to you and Father Brady that I'm worth all the trouble I caused you. And I'm going to prove to John that you were right and that he's wrong.
Sure. You'll do it, too, man.
Yes, I know now that I'll find a way to support my children. I feel that today's been a turning point in my life, and I've a feeling that I'm going to find a job very soon. You see, David, nothing can discourage me now.
At last, Mary has been reunited with her children. And in her supreme happiness, she believes that nothing can discourage her or threaten her happiness. We hope sincerely that she is right. Mary's new friends in Craig's Falls, the young man David and Father Brady, have proved their sincere belief in her by arranging to care for her children till she is able to support them. But isn't there some justification for Benson's fear that the presence of her children in Craig's Falls will add to her burdens rather than lighten them? Obviously, she will not be content to accept charitable care for her children indefinitely. She is happy and hopeful today, but what of tomorrow and the days to come if she fails to find a job? There'll be an unexpected development on Monday in the life of Mary Sothern. The Life of Mary Sothern, the dramatic story of a young widow who accepts life's challenge and goes forward into an unknown future with courage. Mary Sothern is presented each weekday.
The Lucky Strike program starring Van Johnson.
Starring Jack Benny.
Starring Van Johnson with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, Don Wilson.
And yours truly, the pickle in the middle. Thank you, and a happy mustard to you, too. Say, Don, why is it that every time we have a guest star, you always...
Hey, Jackson, don't worry about that now. We're on the air, and Mary isn't here yet.
Mary? Mary isn't here yet? Gee, that's funny. Dennis, what are you laughing at?
You said it was funny.
Dennis, when I said it was funny, I meant it was hard to believe. You understand?
Well... Sure you do, kid. When Jackson says something funny, it's hard to believe.
Phil, stop being on my side, will you? Can't understand Mary not being here. She's never been late before. Maybe she overslept.
Yeah, over.
Well, I'm not going to wait any longer. I'll call her house.
Say, Mabel, what is it, Gatesville? Mr. Benny's line is flashing. Yeah, I wonder what Saratoga Punk wants now. I'll find out. Yes, Mr. Benny. Miss Livingston? Yes, I'll call her home immediately. He wants I should get him Mary Livingston. Oh. And say, Mabel, that reminds me. You know me, I hate to spread gossip. But several times lately, I've heard a rumor about Mr. Benny and Miss Livingston. Oh, don't be silly, Gertrude. He's old enough to be her father. That's the rumor I heard. You know, Mabel, I can't figure out why Mary should be the late for today's program. They're having Van Johnson. Oh, boy, Van Johnson. Shangri-La with red hair. Yeah. Wouldn't it be wonderful if he were to step in here this minute and bow low to us and say, would you two charming and beautiful ladies do me the honor of going dancing with me tonight, babe? Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, I'd just as soon go out with men like Jack Benny. Why? Well, when a man like Benny tries to kiss you, you tell him to stop, and he stops, you don't feel so disappointed. Ain't it the truth? Gosh, I'll never forget the time Jack asked me to come up to his apartment to show me his etchings. And I went, why, Mabel Flapsaddle. Gosh, Tracy, you should see those etchings. 500 pictures of a man standing in a plantation holding up a big tobacco leaf. Well, once I went...
Operator, how about my number?
I'm ringing it now.
Hello? Is Miss Livingston there? What? She left the house 2 hours ago. Oh, for heaven's sake, I should have known. Goodbye.
What's wrong, Jackson?
What's wrong? Mary's late because she went to pick up Van Johnson in her car. I didn't tell her to do that. What girl's seeing him, I don't know.
Well, Jack, you've got to admit that he is handsome.
All right, so am I. After all, what's Van Johnson got that I haven't got?
Yeah, what's Van Johnson got that Mr. Benny hasn't got?
Quiet, Dennis. They're not afraid to answer. Van Johnson.
You know, Jack, I don't want to brag, but I've heard plenty of people comparing me to him.
Don, the van they were comparing you with has furniture sticking out of it. Anyway, I can't understand why all the girls rave so much about Van Johnson. All right, so he's young. Wait another 10 years when he gets to be my age. He'll see.
Would you mind repeating that, Jackson?
I said wait another 10 years when Van Johnson gets to be my age. Well?
I'm trying to figure out some way to answer that and keep it clean.
Well, it can't be done, so forget it. Anyway, Mary and Van Johnson should be here by now. But then this is Sunday. There's probably a lot of traffic.
Am I driving too fast for you, Van?
No, Mary. You're doing fine. Gee, Mary, it sure is a nice drive from Beverly Hills to the studio.
Yeah, I knew you'd enjoy the ride, so I took a little roundabout way.
I'm glad you did. I've never seen San Diego before. Would you like me to roll the window up, Mary?
No, thanks. I like the wind.
I was afraid it might blow your hair. You have such beautiful hair.
Oh, Van, when you say things like that, I just get weak all over. Oh.
Mary, look out! Gosh, didn't you see that bus?
Yes, but I thought I could fly over it. I mean, drive around it.
You better stop, Mary. The light just turned red.
Oh, yes. The lights are red, the violets are blue. If we run out of gas, who cares? Woo!
I know, Mary, but you'd better stop.
You know, when I...
Excuse me, but I can't get a cab. Would you give me a lift as far as... Oh, no. It isn't. Oh! A 1946 Buick.
What a stall. If she'd have gotten in here, I'd have punched her right in the nose. Say, Van, how do you happen to be a guest on Jack's program?
Well, he made such an attractive offer, I couldn't turn it down.
Jack made you an attractive offer? What was it?
He said if I gave a good performance, he'd take me to see The Outlaw.
Oh. But no kidding, Van. How much is he paying you to be his guest?
Well, as a matter of fact, I forgot to discuss money with him.
Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
The Screen Actors Guild has a country home just for actors who forgot to discuss money with Jack.
Oh, I don't care about the money anyway. You know, Mary, even if I don't get a cent, it'll be worth it just being on the same program with you.
Oh, Van, do you really...
Oh, well, I can carry you the rest of the way.
Here we are, Van, Studio B.
Hello, Jack. Here's Van Johnson.
Well, hello, Van.
Hello, Jack.
Yeah, I'm glad you finally got here. Mary, I'll talk to you later. I hope you appreciate my sending Mary over to pick you up.
What? Why, Jack Benny, of all...
Mary. One more word out of you and the May Company will take that candle out of the window. Well, Van, I'd like you to meet our little group of thespians. This is Don Wilson.
Well, he's the fattest little group of thespians I ever saw. Pleased to meet you, Don.
Well, I'm certainly glad to meet you, Van. I've always admired your work in pictures.
Thank you.
And this is my orchestra leader, Phil Harris.
Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Bub. What do you hear from the Henna Rents Company? Phil, so you're Van Johnson, huh?
Uh-huh.
Tell me, Johnson, what makes all them dames so crazy about you?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it's just sort of a psychological phenomena.
I'm dead.
Phil, please.
Okay. I'm pleased to meet you, Van. I've always admired your acting.
Well, thank you, Phil, and I've always admired your music.
Don't get sarcastic.
Look, Phil, Van was just trying to be nice. He really likes your music.
Well, what does he like about it?
All right, forget it. And Van, this is my vocalist, Dennis Day.
Glad to know you, Dennis.
Should I swoon, Mr. Benny?
No, Dennis, that's for girls. Just say hello.
Hello.
And now, Van, I want to tell
Say,
you...
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Dennis.
My mother thinks you're wonderful in pictures.
Well, thank you.
She goes to see every picture you make.
Well, I'm flattered.
And now, Van, I want
When
to...
you smile, she breaks out in big red blotches.
Dennis.
When she saw you in Thrill of a Romance, she came home and burned her wedding dress.
That's enough, Dennis. That's enough. And now, Van,
My father got so mad he broke all the stays in her girdle.
Yeah, girdle. Now, Van, as I started...
It's awful. You might break up our home.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Look, Dennis, it's time for your song. Now, go ahead.
What a business. My home's being broken up and I have to sing.
Yes. Now, go ahead. Come over here, Van. I want to tell you about the sketch we're going to do. I hope Marvin likes it.
Ever we were through.
again to tell you, sung by Dennis Day. It's a wonderful song, Dennis, and you sang it beautifully.
Yeah, and I can't understand it. My home's being broken up.
It'll work out, kid. That really is a lovely song, and you did it beautifully.
I think it's a beautiful song, too, Jack, but I think the lyrics could be improved.
Why, Don, what are you talking about? Those lyrics are simply wonderful.
Oh, I know, Jack, but if I wrote the song, here's the way I would have done it. Will you give me a little music, please, Phil?
Okay, Dante.
I can't begin to tell you what luckies mean to me. For deep down smoking pleasure, they are grand. Oh, they are grand. So please, my friends, remember, it's LSMFT. The finest, mildest smoke that's in the land. Oh, in the land.
Gee, they're happy and my home's being broken up.
I make such pretty speeches about this cigarette. The words I choose would give you clues to what is your best bet. They take the best tobacco the world has ever known. From way down south in Dixie, where it's grown. In Dixie.
Millions of folks like you and me are smoking LSMFT. Puff away, puff away, puff away. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute! Company, close. Now get out of here. I wonder where they got those gray uniforms. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Van, are you ready?
You bet, Jack.
Good. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our guest star, Van Johnson, who was recently seen in Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's picture, Weekend at the Waldorf, for our feature attraction tonight, we will present our version of that same picture entitled, A Fortnight at the Acme Plaza. Curtain music. The Acme Plaza Hotel, outwardly calm, but within a seething turmoil of emotion, where mystery meets intrigue, where intrigue meets romance, where romance meets drama, where drama meets grandpa. Yes, folks, the Acme Plaza.
Hello, Acme Plaza, where the Riff meets the Raff. Sorry, Mr. Raff. Mr. Riff is out. Acme Plaza, a good place to lose a weekend. There's a bottle in every chandelier. One moment, I'll connect you.
Hiya, cutie. Making any good connections lately?
Well, if it isn't Sherlock Harris, the house detective. How does it feel to be a gumshoe?
Now, hold it, baby. I may be a detective, but I ain't no gumshoe.
You're not?
No, not since I got this magnifying glass. I'm stepping over that stuff.
Oh, say, Sherlock, what's the latest dope on that character in room 417? You know, the one who's suspected of killing 23 wives.
Well, I'm working on that. As soon as we find the bodies, we'll be able to pin it on him.
Find the bodies? Where do you think he's hiding them?
I don't know, but that rug in his room is getting awful lumpy.
Yes, folks, the Acme Plaza, where mystery meets suspense, where suspense meets romance, where Gravel Gertie meets B.O. Plenty.
Hello, Gertie.
The Acme Plaza.
Yes, babe, when Sherlock Harris is on a case, he always finds out what's going on and gets his
excuse me, room 310 is calling. That's the big business tycoon, the one that owns all the railroads.
Oh, yeah. I understand he's kind of sweet on you.
Hello?
Hello, baby. You know who this is?
Yes, you're that great, big, important business tycoon.
That's me, the one and only Martindale Schnook.
What can I do for you, Snooky?
I want to know if you'll go out with me tonight.
Well...
I'll give you anything your little heart desires. I'm rich. I own railroads, lots of railroads. The New York Central, Santa Fe, Baltimore, Ohio, the Southern Pacific, Union Pacific.
I know. You own all the railroads in the country.
All except one, and they won't sell me that. I've got to have it. I've got to have it.
Which railroad is that?
The one that goes Bromoseltzer. I'm crazy 3 ways.
Well, Snooky, keep trying.
I will. Goodbye.
Gosh, the one and only Martindale Schnook in love with me. I wonder...
Operator, would you please get me room 212? My name is Van Johnson.
One moment, please. I'm sorry, but 212 doesn't... What are you staring at?
You. Gosh, but you're beautiful.
What?
You're wonderful. The minute I first saw you, I knew you were the one for me. Look, would you please go out with me tonight?
No. Go away. You're not my type. You're not... Give me that again, will you?
Would you please go out with me tonight?
No. Go away. You're not my... Yep, that's what it says here.
Yes, folks, the Acme Plaza, where boy meets girl, where girl meets boy, where I once had a routine, but it was cut out at rehearsal. The Acme Plaza.
Look, honey, I'm lonesome, and you're so beautiful.
Lonesome? Didn't you ever have a girl?
Only once, but I gave her up. Her eyes were like two limpid pools.
2 limpid pools, and why did you give her up?
Her nose looked like a diving board.
Oh.
Please forgive me. Please say that you'll go out with me.
Well, I don't know. There's a big railroad man in this hotel who's in love with me.
A railroad man? Well, don't you think it's time for a switch? Oh, Johnson, you've got a million freckles and a joke under every one of them.
What?
Oh, forgive me. When I'm excited, I don't know what I'm saying. But I do know that I want to marry you. Say that you'll be mine.
I'm sorry, but I'll have to think it over.
Think it over. That's what they all say. What's wrong with me? Why can't I get a girl? Why can't I...
Pardon me, operator. Would you please ring Miss Lana Turner's room?
Lana Turner? Yes, sir. Take it on phone number 3, please.
Thank you. Hello, Lana? This is Van Jackson. Yes, I know my voice sounds like honey dripping into your ear, but you always have to keep telling me that. What? No, I'm sorry. I can't take you out tonight. I know I promised you this afternoon, but I can't make it. Oh, now, Lana, don't feel that way. What? Lana, put down that gun. You will get over it. I don't care if it is a water pistol. You'll drown yourself. Well, all right, call me next week. And stop sending me orchids. My room is full of them. Goodbye. Thank you, operator.
Gee, imagine turning down a date with Lana Turner. Who is he?
That's Van Jackson, the glamour boy.
Gosh, I wish I could be like that.
Well, you can't accomplish it overnight. He's been working on it for over 50 years.
Well, do you think it might help me if I went over and talked to him?
Yeah, sure. What have you got to lose?
I beg your pardon, Mr. Jackson. Do you mind if I ask a favor of you?
Why, no. Go right ahead.
Well, I was standing over there by the switchboard, and I heard you talking to Lana Turner.
Oh, good. I thought maybe I wasn't talking loud enough. What's on your mind, son?
I'm in love with that telephone operator, and I just can't get anywhere. I don't know what's the matter with me, but girls just don't seem to like me.
They don't?
No.
Well, I can understand that, kid. Look at your face. You have too many freckles.
Too many?
Yes. Now, my complexion is perfectly clear. And look at your eyes. They have no expression.
They haven't?
No. Now, if you'll notice, my eyes sparkle.
Yes, they do.
And look at your hair.
My hair?
Yes. Now, take mine.
Thanks.
Put that back! Turn it around, I look silly and bang. Now listen, kid. The trouble with you is that you probably haven't got the right approach. You're too timid. If you want to take that telephone operator out tonight, you can't walk over and say, "May I have a date?" You got to go over there and say, "Listen, babe, you're going out with me tonight, see? We're going to the Macombo, and you're going to pay the..." No, not the first time. Now, go ahead. Walk over there and do as I tell you. I'll be right behind you.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Jackson. Now, listen, babe.
Huh?
I've been stalling around here long enough. You're going out with me tonight, and that settles it.
What?
I said you're going out with me tonight, and we're going to the Macombo.
Gee, the Macombo. Then can we go to the other places, too?
Other places? You say you're not satisfied? You say you want more? Tell you what I'm going to do. Tell you what I'm going to do. Gonna let you in on something hot. You'll be sure to win on what I've got. Looky, 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 you'll be fully guaranteed never to be lonely. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna lay it gently on the line. Say it sentimentally, please be mine. Hurry, 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 who can tell where this will lead? Baby, if you only knew. Here's a chance for a solid thing. Latch on, don't throw it away. Here's a heart, and I'll make delivery today. You say you're not satisfied, tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna do the things you want me to. Be the one who brings the skies of blue. Nothing will be too good. Every day a new good deed. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna fall in love with you.
Tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna pick the shirts and ties you wear. Gonna change the way you part your hair. Under my direction you can be perfection soon.
Pardon me for living.
Tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna be the one who loves you most.
Be the one who keeps me warm as toast.
Nothing will be too good.
Every day a new good deed.
Tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna fall in love.
Gonna fall in love.
Gonna fall in love with you.
Yes, folks, everything happens at the Acme Plaza. You say you're not satisfied? You say you didn't like our play? You say you want more entertainment? Tell you what I'm going to do. Here's Mr. F.E. Boone of Lexington, Kentucky. Take it away, F.E.
49 American. In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts, and Lucky Strike means fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, during this past week, our nation has been saluting Boys Clubs of America, the purpose of which is the social, physical, educational, vocational, and character development of boys from 8 to 20 years of age. Now, more than ever, we should look forward to building boys into better men, which is the motive of the Boys Clubs of America. There are roughly 250,000 members, and many prominent men and women serve on the board of directors. We can all help promote this fine organization by getting in touch with our local Boys Club of America. They need us. We need them. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the song I'm Going to Fall in Love with You was written by Johnny Green and Ralph Blaine and sung for the first time by Mary and Van Johnson. Van Johnson appeared here tonight through the courtesy of MGM, producers of A.J. Cronin's The Green Years. Say, Van.
Yeah, Jack?
I meant to ask you, this picture, The Green Years, how come that you're not in that one?
Well, the leading man called for a man old enough to be my father.
Oh.
Say, Jack, now that I think about it...
Go count your freckles. Good night.
The National Broadcasting Company.
Good health to all from Rexall. Yes, it's Sunday, time for the Phil Harris-Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall Drug Products and your Rexall family druggist.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist taking a little time from behind the prescription counter this Sunday evening to speak for all 10,000 of us. The 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to our own store names. You can always tell us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. They range all the way from aspirin to penicillin, and they're as fine and pure and dependable as science can make them. We independent druggists recommend them to our customers because we know you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Two days ago, Phil received a notice to appear for jury duty. Fully realizing the responsibility of jury service, Phil's reaction when he first opened the letter was that of the average civic-minded citizen.
I ain't gonna go!
But the next day, after Alice pointed out that it's un-American to say he wasn't going to go, Phil changed his tone.
How can I get out of it?
However, he was unable to think of a way out, and today at 2 o'clock he has to appear at City Hall to see if he can qualify. Alice and the children are waiting for him to come downstairs.
Well, Phyllis, I guess Daddy will have to go today, unless he can think of another excuse. What's left? He's gone through everyone in the book.
Now, girls, your daddy was only joking with all those excuses. He really wants to serve. He wouldn't try to get out of
Hiya, kids. Oh, good morning, Alice.
Oh, good morning, Phil. I was just telling the children that... Phil, what are you doing on crutches?
I got good news, honey. I broke my leg.
Oh, now you broke your leg. Where did you break it?
Right in the back of the knee. See the way it bends in the middle?
Oh, Daddy, you're slipping. 2 days to think of an alibi, and you come up with a corn pone like that.
Well, at least it's better than the excuse he dreamed up yesterday.
Which one?
Number 18. The one in which you wanted me to shave all my hair off so you could tell him your wife just blew her top.
I didn't say that.
Oh, Phil, why are you trying so hard to get out of jury duty? A lot of men would welcome the chance to serve.
Yeah, well, if that's true, maybe I could hire one of them to take my place. There must be somebody who would do it for money. Somebody who would be...
Good morning, Philip.
Well, if it ain't Willie, show me $3 and I'll sell out my own grandmother, Faye. Hey, Willie, I got a proposition for you. How would you like to be Phil Harris for a day?
Ooh, what a revolting...
How do you like that? I give the guy a chance at heaven and he turns it down. You better think that over, Clyde.
I don't want to be Phil Harris. I've been William Faye all my life, and I like it.
Only because you were born that way and you don't know any better. Forget it, Willie. You couldn't be me anyway. There is only one Phil Harris, and that's I.
What did my sister ever do to deserve you?
I don't know, but she must have led a very clean life. She was just a fortunate gal to have gotten the pride of the South.
Well, lucky little old me is just the luckiest little old thing that ever did live shown up.
Oh.
Well, shut my mouth, mint my julep, and yuck, yuck, yuck.
Are you finished, Aunt Jemima? Getting back to you, William. You know, it ain't easy to be a Phil Harris.
If you're looking for sympathy, you've come to the wrong person.
I didn't mean it that way.
Philip, why do you want me to pretend I'm you?
Oh, ignore him, Willie. He's just trying to get out of jury duty. He's trying to find someone to go in his place.
Philip, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's a despicable thing to do. You're completely incorrigible, and it's about time somebody pounded some sense into you, and
Oh, stop slapping my wrist. Get lost, will you?
Very well, but I think you are a cad. If you were any kind of a citizen, you wouldn't shirk your duty. Goodbye.
One of these days, I'm going to do-wah his ditty. Can't understand it. How could Rexall keep a guy like that working for him and fire Remley?
Oh, Phil, leave Willie alone. He may have his peculiarities, but at least he has ability. Why, if he ever lost his job, he wouldn't have to go around from door to door selling shoelaces like Frankie did last year.
Oh, doll. Remley was only kidding. He wasn't really selling shoelaces. After all, it takes more than 1 week to get a good job. Frankie was looking around. Being particular. I guarantee by now the guy has a fine position. I'll get it. Fresh fish! Frankie, drop that tired halibut and come in here. Haven't you found a job yet?
I got a job. I'm selling fish.
Oh, Frankie. What kind of a job is that, going from door to door selling fish?
How do you like that? Just because he married into money becomes a snob. Now, do you want to buy some fish or don't you?
All right, all right. If it'll help you out, I'll buy the fish you're holding.
Oh, I can't sell you this one. This is a sample.
A sample fish?
Mm-hmm.
You don't happen to have a catalog of your new spring line, do you? Look, are you going to sell me that fish you got, or aren't you?
No, I can't, Curly. Been carrying him around for 5 days now, and he's sort of become a pet. I couldn't bear to part with little Tomaine.
Now, look, Remley, I'm not going to stand here and listen to all of this kind of...
I wish you wouldn't raise your voice. You'll wake my fish up. Besides, in my weakened condition, your shouting grates on my nerves.
All right. Wait a minute. What are you weak from? I gave you money yesterday for food. You ate, didn't you?
Well, it's this way, Curly. As I left my room to eat, the landlady was standing there barring my way. She stuck her arm out and demanded the rent. Well, it was a question of eating or paying the landlady.
Which did you do?
Both.
Both?
Her arm was delicious.
Remley, are you going to stop now with them wild stories? Ate the landlady's arm.
All right, so I'm only kidding.
Well, that's better. Now, look.
I'd like you to come over sometime and meet Wingy.
Look, Remley, cut it out, will you? Now, what are you weak from?
Well, I was ashamed to tell you, but if you must know, my landlady put me out and I have no place to live. I'm weak from lack of sleep.
Well, gee, Francis. Why didn't you tell me?
I was ashamed.
Well, if you have no place to stay, you can move in with me and Alice until you find something.
No. I wouldn't impose on you and Alice.
But, Frank, I insist. At least stay overnight.
Well, all right, but just overnight. Excuse me. Okay, fellas, you can bring in my 4 trunks now.
4 trunks just to stay overnight with all that stuff? You could stay here a year.
Gee, thanks, Curly. That means I can spend my sabbatical at your place.
Frankie, look, you're only staying overnight.
Hey, Mr. Raye, where do you want these trunks?
Oh, put them any place upstairs in the master bedroom.
Oh, no, you don't. Put them in the guest room. That is, if you don't mind roughing it, Mr. Remley.
If that's the way you want it, okay. I guess that's life. When a man's down, he gets kicked around.
Nobody's kicking you around. I'm glad to have you live with us. Alice and me will be... Alice. Uh-oh. I got to tell her.
Well, tell her. That's no problem.
Ordinarily, no, but with you it is. You know, Remley, you're not the easiest guy in the world to live with. And Alice might object. Let's go ask her anyway.
Well, why should she object to me? I'm not going to be putting her out. I don't expect her to change her mode of living just for me. I don't want her to do anything that she... Curly, what's all that racket?
That's not racket. Alice is practicing her song for the show. She practices every Sunday.
Every Sunday?
And every day.
Every day, too? Curly, while I'm here, that'll have to stop.
Stop? Why?
I take a nap every afternoon, and I can't be disturbed. I don't mind her singing, but can't she do it some other time?
Be quiet, will you, and listen. This happens to be talent.
If you were to ask me who the sweetest one I knew was, I'd say you was. If you were to ask me who my favorite point of view was, I'd say you was. I've got a heart that hollers when you're not close to me. But when you're here, the funny part is my heart is a spherical, lyrical miracle all the day. If you were to ask me who my extra special guy was, I'd say you was. If you were to ask me who my rainbow in the sky was, I'd say you were. Supposing you paid a visit to a certain preacher, suppose you overheard me practicing I do, and you were to ask me who the bride and groom to be was, I'd say we was, me and you.
If we were to ask you who the captain of your crew was,
oh, I'd say he was, I mean old corn pone.
If we were to ask you who the apple of your eye was,
oh, I'd say he was.
Not old ham hock.
Yes, old ham hock. Sometimes I think he isn't worth the trouble, but when that curly head of his comes into view, then if you should ask me who the happy ones to be was, I'd say we was, me and you.
Hey, Curly, now that Alice is finished, let's go in and tell her that I'm going to live here.
Gee, Frankie, she sounds so happy, I hate to spoil it. Well, I guess we have to tell her. Look, you wait here, I'll go in and break it to her. You know, this situation requires delicate handling.
Okay, Curly.
Alice.
Yes, Bill?
Alice, about our empty guest room.
Oh, did Willie mention it to you, too?
Mention what?
Well, this morning, Willie said he was getting tired of living alone and hinted that he'd like to move in with us. But I put my foot down. I wouldn't have anyone living with us, including my own relatives. Now, what were you going to say?
Have you seen my Harry Carey knife?
What did you start to say about the guest room?
Oh, with the guest. Well, as long as we have the room, I think we ought to use it. I mean, well, after all, what are we saving it for?
Oh, you know very well what we're saving it for. We plan to have another baby someday. A boy, we hope. And, well, nobody gets that room but my son.
Alice. I got good news for you.
What?
You've just become the mother of a bouncing 185-pound boy. Named Frankie.
Phil, what are you trying to say?
Oh, honey, Frankie's moved in with us. He's going to stay with us. I knew you wouldn't mind, and he's just... Alice, what are you doing?
Looking for your Harry Carey knife. And remember, ladies first.
Oh, honey. It ain't going to be so bad. Besides, Frankie won't be with us long.
How long?
Oh, just until he finds another job.
You mean for the rest of our natural lives? Phil, he hasn't... Oh, well, if Frankie's in a spot, of course we'll help him out. He can stay.
Oh, gee, Alice, I knew you'd say that. You're a sweetheart. Hey, Remley, come on in.
Okay, Curly. Yeah.
Hey, Alice says it's okay.
Gee, thanks, Alice. It's nice of you to allow me to stay here.
Oh, that's all right, Frankie. But I'll have to ask you to conform to our household routine.
Routine?
Yes. You see, on account of the children, we have to be very punctual. We have breakfast at 7, lunch at 12, and dinner at 6 sharp. Your room is next to the children, so you won't be able to play your radio after 8, and you'll have to turn your lights out at 9. Do you understand?
Yes, Sergeant. What time do we have bayonet practice?
Don't be a wise guy, Remley.
To go through basic training to live here.
What are you kicking about? At least you'll be able to get out of the barracks at night.
Very true. Well, I better go upstairs and get my clothes out of the trunk.
Okay, I'll go up and help you.
Now, don't be long, Phil. You have to be down at City Hall later to qualify for jury duty.
Oh, Alice, why do you have to remind me? I purposely tried to forget it.
You've been called for jury duty, Curly?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of some way to get out of it. You got any ideas, Remley?
Yeah. Just get down and let him give you the literacy test. That ought to do it.
Mr. Remley, I'm a little tired of people making fun of my lack of education. I went to school. My education may not be complete. But it ain't my fault if Mother had to take me out of Harvard after my sophomore year.
Harvard?
That's a college. I had to leave just before I got my degree. I was working toward a thud.
Bud?
Yeah, Ph.D., thud. Alice, I don't think he believes I went to college.
How could he doubt it? I'll go get your Phi Beta Kappa key and show him. And I'd better bring your oars, too.
What oars?
Have you forgotten, Philip? Today is the day of the Poughkeepsie Regatta, and you're rowing stroke for dear old Harvard. A roar, roar, roar for sophomore Phil!
What's the matter with her?
Somebody must have sprinkled paprika in her bubble bath. Hey, Remley, seriously. Now, look, I got to get out of this jury duty.
Why?
Well, because I'm sure that they're picking me to be a juror on a murder trial. The paper said they're selecting a jury this week for that wall bed murder case. So? I don't want to judge another man's life. After all, I don't know the facts, and them lawyers will confuse me. Oh, there's no sense kidding myself. I'm not too smart.
That's a masterpiece of understatement. Look, Curly, instead of wasting your time trying to get out of jury duty, why don't you read the papers and learn all the facts about the case? If you do that, you can decide whether the guy is guilty or not even before you go down.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, that way I might not even have to waste my time sitting through the trial. I'll just phone in my verdict.
That's right. Let's get the papers and decide right now whether this guy is guilty or not.
Well, come on.
Well, Curly, we've read all the newspaper accounts of this wall bed murder. I can't figure out whether this guy did away with his wife or not. What do you think?
My dear Remley, the solution is obvious. After carefully analyzing the evidence and weighing all the facts pertinent in this crime, I have come to the definite conclusion that this man is guilty. Unless, of course, he didn't do it.
Thank you, Sam Spade.
Remley, look. This guy must have done it. Now, he claims his wife accidentally suffocated in a wall bed, but that's impossible.
How do you know it's impossible?
Well, it's got to be because you... Look, come with me and I'll prove it.
Well, how are you going to prove it?
Well, look, we got a wall bed in the little room off the hall. Now, I'll show you it's impossible to suffocate when the bed is up.
I disagree.
All right. I'll pull the bed down and show you. We ain't used it in a long time.
Oh. For a minute, I thought you had the harp player in there.
All right, now look. Remley, do you see all the space in the wall?
Yeah.
Now, how could you suffocate?
Look, when you push the bed up into the wall with a person in it, there ain't that much space. Well, I'll prove it. Curly, lie down.
Okay, wait. Remley, I'm going to be the perfect host. You're tired from the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Lie down.
You think I'm crazy or something? You do it.
I can't. I've got to stay alive to serve on jury duty. You ain't working. You got nothing to lose. Now, look, Frankie, one of us has got to lie down on this bed to prove our point. It's evidence.
I don't want to be evidence. All I want
Hey, I brought your groceries. What are you guys doing in this room?
Gentlemen of the jury, I give you Exhibit A.
Yeah. What a wonderful subject to reenact a crime with.
Hey, Julius, there's something we want to talk to you about, kid. Sit down. No, not on the chair. Right on the bed.
Yeah, we want you to rest.
Yes, son, we know that you work very hard.
Stop beating around the bush. What diabolical scheme are you plotting for me now?
Julius, that is an unkind cut. Why should I plot against you? Why, I feel toward you like I would toward my own son. And I love every hair on your pointed little head.
Julius, you misunderstand us. We might have done some things to you that you might consider unnecessarily cruel. But believe me, lad, anything we've ever done to you has been for your own benefit.
You mean like the time you tried to blow me up? How was I supposed to benefit from that?
You were down in the dumps and we were trying to give you a lift.
Look, Julius, we're performing a little experiment and we want you to help us. Now, look, I say if a person gets caught in a wall bed, they can't suffocate. But Mr. Remley says they can.
And all we're asking you to do is let us stuff you in the wall so that we can see which one of us is right.
You expect me to get... Fellas, what did you do with the hammer?
What hammer?
The one you've been banging each other over the head with. You have to give me $1 million to get me in that bed.
It's a deal. Here's $2 down, and you get the balance as soon as you suffocate and prove I'm right.
Never mind, Frankie. Let him go. If he don't want to do it, he don't have to. Let's forget it.
All right.
Come on, let's put the bed back up. Help me lift it, will you?
Yeah, it's stuck.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. There's a release lever in the back of the headboard there. Hey, Julius, reach over the bed and release that lever, will you?
Okay. There.
Thanks, kid. Hey, Frank. Did Julius go someplace?
He must have. I don't see him around. I wonder if he's...
Hey, you must let me out of here!
He is. Hey, where are you, Julius?
You know where I am. I'm in this bed.
Well, shame on you going to bed without brushing your teeth.
Are you resting comfortably, kid?
How can I be comfortable? I'm standing on my head.
My, such a sloppy sleeper.
Never mind that. Can you still breathe in there?
Yeah, but I can do a better job outside.
Brother
rather high-strung, youngster.
Well, you see, Remley, I was right. He can still breathe. He can't suffocate in there.
Oh, no, it's too early to tell yet. I bet you $10 he don't last more than 5 minutes.
Okay, it's a bet. It's impossible for him to
They're betting on me. What am I, a roulette wheel? This cease to be funny. I just
Julia, stop talking. Conserve the air. I got $10 riding on your nose.
Ignore him, kid. I'm betting on you, too. Inhale deeply. The air is free. Use it up.
I don't want to use it up. I want to save it for my old age.
Now, you see, Remley, he ain't having no trouble breathing at all. We might as well let him out. Now, do you give up?
All right, you win. That darn kid. He's living just to make a fool out of me.
Well, that proves my point. Now, when I serve on the jury, I'll know what I'm talking about. I'll be able to convince the other jurors that a person can't suffocate in a wall bed.
Suppose they don't believe you.
Well, I don't. Julius, will you shut up in there? I'm trying to think. There must be some way that I can prove that he... Remley, I got it. Well, we're all set, Remley.
Right.
Let's get started for City Hall.
Okay. Phil, why didn't you tell me you were leaving? I wanted you to... Phil, what have you got tied on top of the station wagon?
A wall bed? I'm taking it down to City Hall to prove a point. Oh, go to sleep, will you? Come on, Remley, let's get
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. Meanwhile, our Rexall family druggist talks with a rather unusual woman. A woman who admits a fault.
Look, I'm just naturally lazy, and I want an easy way to make sure I'm buying reliable drug products.
Well, ma'am, I'll tell you the easiest way I know. Look for the name Rexall on the label.
Goodness knows that sounds easy enough. But what makes you so sure of Rexall's quality?
Well, now, it would take quite a little time to give you all the reasons. Let's just take one example. You probably use vitamin products, don't you?
Why, yes, I do.
And naturally, you know that over a period of time, most of them gradually lose some of their potency.
Yes, a doctor told me that.
Well, the makers of Rexall drug products fortify their vitamin products so carefully that when you buy them, you can be sure the potency is at least the amount stated on the label. Now, that's only one of the many ways the Rexall people go all out to make sure that their 2,000 or more fine drug products will do faithfully just what you expect them to do. You see, we independent Rexall druggists know this, and that's why we've put the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign tells you that ours are the only stores where you can get these products. And we tell you, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Folks, don't forget to contribute to the American Heart Association. Good night, everybody.
Good night now.
Good night.
The program was produced and directed by Paul Phillips. The part of Frankie Remley was played by Elliot Lewis, and Julius was played by Walter Tetley. Alice Faye appears with the courtesy of 20th Century Fox. This is Bill Foreman wishing good health to all from Rexall.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
When the blue of the night meets the gold of the day, someone waits for... Will the sound make you stand out tonight? You to Philco Radio Time, produced and transcribed in Hollywood with John Scott Stoddard as orchestra, the Mayors, and Bing Guest. Say, Bing, who is your guest tonight?
Oh, gee, I don't know for sure, Ken, but my brother Everett is out in the hall with a net.
Oh?
If I know Everett, he'll probably capture himself.
Is use him. We have to have someone around here to talk to.
This is Mark, Casey. Somebody's bound to blow in. Maybe we make a little noise, might attract somebody. We got a great song here from the musical show Angel in the Wings. That's the review that features Hank Ladd and the Hartmans. Song called The Big Brass Band from Brazil. Is the PA on good, Jim? Everybody climb in now. This is a very lively thing. The big brass band from Brazil, the big brass band from Brazil, a-rum-pa-pa to beat the law, that's the way they go. Three brothers down in Rio had a noisy family trio, three piccolos that sounded mighty shrill. But their papa called it music, so with his dough they planned the big brass band from Brazil. They soon sent to Cuba for some trumpets and a tuba. They figured that their relatives had skill. Papa's ears are stuffed with cotton, but he still thinks they're grand. The big brass band from Brazil. Oh, they practice all night long, but they've only learned one song. So they play that same old phrase 57 different ways. First and second cousins, and there's uncles by the dozens. They play as long as Papa pays the bill. And it's getting more expensive each time that they expand. The big brass band from Brazil. USA was luring, so old Papa set him touring Chicago and New York and Louisville. That's because they don't play baseball. In Brooklyn they were banned. The big brass band from Brazil. Oh, they practice all night long, but they've only learned one song. So they play the same old phrase 57 different ways. Give the boys a hand. Big brass band from Brazil. That's the way they go. Yes, very breezy stuff for the first week in March. Yeah, Ken, we're coming in like a lion and we're going out with the pillow. Right now, who knows? You know, Bing, whenever I hear that expression coming in like a lion, I can't help but compare it to the reception on Philco radio. Yeah, now, Ken, do you mean to say that twisting a lion's tail gets the same result as twisting a Philco's dial? Oh, I mean that a lion's roar is powerful and rich and clear, just like the tone of a Philco. Well, then why doesn't Philco raise lions instead of bothering with radios and phonographs? Now, wait, that's a little radical, Bing. I don't see why. To make radios, you have to have bolts and wire and solder and tubes and stuff. It's a big production. With lions, all you need is a couple of them. You're in business. So, tonight I better stick to those new Philcos. But if it would help, I could roar like a lion about them. Oh, no, you don't, Ken. You just go ahead and read your commercial. Try reading something. Okay, Bing, I don't have to roar. Just let me whisper the news about Philco's sensational new plastic portables. And the good word is that they'll be arriving at your Philco dealer any day now. You can't miss them when they do, because their slick, streamlined plastic cases are real eye catchers. A fashion splash in your choice of 4 different colors. You get real powerhouse Philco performance, too. And at an amazing new low cost for Philco quality in a portable radio. If you're always on the go, get the new battery-only model. Or if you can use a handy extra radio around the house, too, latch on to one of the 3-way jobs that play on battery or plug into the house current, either AC or DC. Indoors or out, these new Philcos are cinched to be the smart set with the smart set. And tops for your money in portable radios from Philco, the leader. Smart set with the smart set. I recorded this song recently with the Andrews sisters. Haven't got the Andrews gals with us tonight, but we got the Rhythmaires. They walk along pretty good. Come on along, shooting the breeze. Don't let it trouble you. Come on and live a life of ease at the Flying W. Sing like a cowboy, sing as you ride on the road. Be like a cowboy. cupid breeze. So let it trouble you. Come on and do just as you please. At the Flying W. Away you dirty drawer, where are the suits? Get yourself a Jackson and a pair of boots. And a fancy shirt comes under, and a tie. And yippee, hi. Come on along and shoot the breeze. Come on along. So let it trouble you. Come on along. Come on and live the life of ease. At the Flying W. Ooh, sing like a cowboy. Sing like you ride all the perfect day. Ooh, be like a cowboy. Your life will let you forget your age. Come on along. Come on and shoot the breeze. Come on along. Every trouble you, come on along. Come on and do just as you please. At the Flying W. You're going to a gallop, mister. Hang on for life. You got insurance for your fat and white. If your feet are sore, forget it and don't you cry. Yippee, hi-yi-oh. Come on along to shoot the breeze. Let the trouble you, come on along, come on and do just as you please. At the Flying W. At the Flying W, the Flying W. Let's see, there's a young lady here to see you. A guest, huh? Well, good. No, I don't know if she's a guest star exactly. She's Jack Benny's girlfriend, Gladys Zabisco. Oh, Gladys. How are you?
Fine, but boy, are you in trouble.
Trouble?
Yeah, Jack Benny's on his way over here, and I rushed over to warn you.
Well, what happened?
Well, Jack and I had a date after his rehearsal, and I was standing across the street from NBC when Jack showed up. He was in a very romantic mood. In fact, I've never seen Jack so romantic.
Gladys. Maybe it's the moon, maybe it's the stars, maybe it's the fragrance of the night. But I want to say something to you I've never said to any other girl.
What's that?
I'd like to buy you a drink.
I accept.
Well, let's go in here to Tom Brenneman's. They've got a lovely cocktail lounge.
Gee, say it is nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's Tom Brenneman over there. Hiya, Tom. Oh, hello, Jack. Oh, and hello, young lady. Oh, this is my girlfriend, Gladys Zabisco. Well, it's a real pleasure to know you, Miss Zabisco.
Well, thanks. But I wish you'd keep your hands to yourself.
Gladys, he's only trying to pin an orchid on you. Gladys and I thought we'd stop in for a little drink. Oh, fine. Well, if I may offer a suggestion, you know, Phil Harris comes in here a lot. He seems to like our champagne. Champagne? Mm-hmm. No, it tickles my nose. I'll just have some muscatel. Okay, but Phil always has champagne. Well, he's got 2 shows. Just muscatel. Will the lady have the same? No, bring the lady her own glass of muscatel. I'm sorry you wouldn't go for champagne, Jack. I wanted to buy you kids a drink. Oh. I said I wanted to buy you a drink. Well, why didn't you come right out and say so instead of setting a trap? Oh, come on, Jack. Have a drink on me. Waiter, forward J29, please. Jack, I have to run along. I'll take care of the business here. Enjoy yourself. Oh, thank you, Tom. See, Gladys, isn't this romantic? Soft light, champagne.
But they have an office in the other room.
It's cozy here. But if you care for some music, there's a jukebox over here in the corner.
Oh, wonderful. How about playing something?
Okay, wait till I find a nickel. Let's see. Oh, here, I've got one. See, what have they got here? See, Bing Crosby. Yeah.
The Andrews sisters, either 3 of them, the 4 Mills brothers, the ink spot. I wonder how many spots. Oh, here's Fred Waring's Glee Club. There's a buy if I ever saw one. Gee, there must be 100 of them.
Don't you like crossing?
What's the like? All right, it's your night. I'll play crossing.
Well, what are you waiting for? Why don't you put your nickel in?
I was just wondering, Gladys, all those people sitting around, do they get to hear it too? Honestly, some people go through life listening to the other fellow's nickel.
How can you be so petty, Jack? You're a big star.
Oh, that's right. I guess I was only kidding. Hey, come on, everybody. I want you all to listen. Here goes.
Love is funny, or it's bad. What?
The record stopped. Maybe if I slap the key. See, now it stopped altogether. Maybe if I kick it a piece.
Oh, it's no use, Jack. If I play.
But it's got to play. My nickel is in there. It's got to play. Maybe if I take it a little. Hey, Bud. Hey, you. What are you trying to do? Look, waiter, I put a nickel in this machine and the record wouldn't play. Well, I've got nothing to do with that machine. You'll have to see the owner, Mr. Brenneman. Mr. Brenneman? Oh, my friend Tom. Oh, yeah. Where's Tom? He just stepped out. Stepped out. He sneaked out. Look, Bud. In Toledo. Toledo? A fine scheme. You're only the waiter, the jukebox company's in Toledo, and Brenneman takes it on the lam. Well, I'm going to go to Crosby direct. I'll get after it. Let me out of it.
Anyway, Jane, that's what happened, and I got out while Jack was arguing with the waiter, and I thought I'd better warn you.
Well, you warned me just in time. Look who's coming. What's wrong, Jack? Looks like you lost your best friend.
Bing, I just had an unfortunate experience. I mean, some people would have been furious.
Well, what happened?
Well,
I'll save you a little time, Jack. I know exactly what happened. You put a nickel in to hear me sing, the record got struck, you lost your nickel, right?
Just as I thought. You're in with that jukebox, Ma.
Now, don't be silly, Jack. I know the story because your friend Gladys here. She told me all about it.
Gladys, I don't need any help from you. It's my problem. I'm old enough to stand on my own 2 feet.
You're old enough to fall down.
Never mind. I'm not interested in what you told him. I want Bing to hear my side of the story. The true side. And I've got witnesses to prove it.
Oh, Jack. What do you want to do, make a whole big case out of this?
I'm not making a big case out of anything. I simply want to tell you very calmly what took place. Now, here's exactly what happened, Your Honor. I mean, Bing. Now, look, Bing. Through a mechanical fault in this music vending machine, I was obliged to forfeit a payment I had made in advance to hear you sing a song. Now, since I didn't get to hear that song, I feel that some kind of financial adjustment is in order.
Well, frankly, Jack, I don't see why I should be obligated to compensate you for your loss.
Mr. Crosby, do you not receive revenue from a certain mechanical device, patent number 327-8496, commonly known as the jukebox?
Jack, I'm not affiliated with any jukebox company. The money I receive through this medium, I get indirectly.
Then give me my nickel back indirectly. Give it to Gladys, and she'll hand it to me.
I don't see what we're arguing about here, Jack. Why don't you forget about it?
Forget about it?
Yeah.
Look, Bing, let's reverse the situation. Supposing I had put a violin solo on a record, and that record was placed in a jukebox. You put a nickel in the jukebox. The record got stuck, and you didn't get to hear my violin solo. How would you feel? Well, let's take another example. think about your conscience.
My conscience?
Every time you see a nickel, you'll think of me.
Oh, that is inflation.
Bing, believe me, it isn't the money. It's the principle of the thing. Don't you see? Look, at the sign on that machine said one song for 5 cents. Our country was founded on honest representation. It's the right of legitimate barter. It's the Louisiana Purchase. It's Paul Revere's right to Lexington. It's Dewey at Manila. It's the spirit of 76. So don't you see, Bing, I'm not just fighting. I'm not fighting for my nickel. I'm fighting for American tradition. I'm fighting for the Constitution. I'm fighting for George Washington at Valley Forge.
What, again?
I'm telling you, Bing, I'll never rest until this matter is cleared up.
Well, Jack, I've just been pretending to be stubborn. I've had a lot of furniture expense tonight, but you do have a legitimate beef. And I want to square.
Oh, thank you. Bing.
You put a nickel in the jukebox.
Right.
I was supposed to sing a song, you didn't hear it.
Right.
You didn't get your nickel back.
Right, see?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sing that song for you.
Bing, you mean instead of giving me that nickel, you're going to stand here and sing a song?
Yes.
How can a guy be so cheap?
Love is funny, or it's sad, or it's quiet, or it's mad. It's a good thing, or it's bad, but beautiful, beautiful to take a chance. And if you fall, you fall. And I'm thinking I wouldn't mind at all. Love is cheerful, or it's gay. It's a problem, or it's play. It's a heartache either way, but beautiful. And I'm thinking, if you were mine, I'd never let you go. And that would be the beautiful. There's your song, Jack. That makes it even.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Yep. Mr. Brenneman. It's too late in the day for Tom. It's a little late for...
Canada, you know, his restaurant is across the street. It takes him quite a while to get there.
Open the door, Jack.
Close it.
Hey, Jack.
Oh, Mr. Brenneman.
What brings you here?
Well, I stopped over to see Jack Bing. You know, the jukebox mechanic was there, and we got his nickel back. Here you are, Jack. Oh, thank you. 1900. Yep. It was all the same to you. I'll be running along. Goodbye, Jack and Bing. I've got to run across the street and water some hats.
Very good rest, Doc. Have a nap.
Well, what a lovely fellow. You know, I ought to send him a good neighbor orchid.
Jack, you've had a big day. You got your nickel back. You got a song.
Yeah, I did. Well, come on, Gladys. I'll walk you home.
To Glendale?
Oh, yes. We'll take the bus. Let's go.
Say, wait a minute, Jack. Just a minute.
Yes, please.
You know, a little while ago you were talking about fair play, justice, America.
Yes.
Well, when you got your nickel back, I no longer owed you the song.
Well,
You did willfully accept that song from me?
yes, but...
Mr. Benny, do you know how much I get for singing the song?
Can I get a glass of water, Jack?
Make it a bucket. I think I'll drown myself. Look, Daisy, there's only one way to handle it. You gave me a song, I'll give you back a song. Gladys, get me one of those violins.
What are you going to do with a violin?
I want to reciprocate.
You mean retaliate?
Yeah, Jack.
Thanks, Gladys. I'll do the best I can. Violin is a little different from the one I play. This one has 4 strings. I wonder what the other 3 are for.
Those are spares.
Oh. That's a second.
Thank you, Jack. That was very good.
Look, I haven't started the number yet. No.
Just grand. Thank you a lot.
Well, look, Bing, I'm just trying to pick out a number.
Well, these people have homes. Maybe they want to get to them.
Well, I think I know a good number I'll play. Humorette.
Oh, say, I may join in on that.
No, Bing, you see, there's no vocal.
No, I mean on the cymbal.
Oh, you play the cymbal?
Certainly. I used to play on a live bait boat off of Formosa Beach.
All right. Now, I'm ready. Join me, but don't crowd me.
Just a bunch here.
No vocal.
Jack, you were never better.
Thank you. Now we're all even, Bing.
That's right. You know, this little act we did is look pretty good on television.
And those clothes?
Why not? Color?
Oh, it's funny that you mentioned television, Bing. You know, I was in a radio store the other day looking at the new Philco.
And what did you buy?
A package of Lucky Strike cigarettes.
Well, Jack, you might go in a radio store and buy Lucky Strikes because you have great control. But I venture to say with everybody else, it's LSMFT, Let's See Mighty Fine Television.
You stole that from us.
No, I just borrowed it, Jack, because it fits Philco so well. Mighty fine television, mighty fine radio. Either way, it's Philco. And the big news in mighty fine television is that now you can get genuine Philco television for a sensational new low price. In fact, the lowest price ever for Philco television. Only $199.50, plus $1.35 federal tax and the installation cost. And man, that's really bringing the cost of television down. Right down where everybody can afford this great new kind of home entertainment. And make no mistake, despite its low cost, this new Philco cable model is a full-size, high-quality television receiver. Nothing skimped, nothing left out. And yet you can get it at the lowest possible price for which a quality television receiver can be built. Gives you brilliant pictures so sharp, so clear, so real. Compare this new Philco 700 and let your eye be the judge. Get yours now and get set for the baseball season. Buy it for as little as 10% down at your Philco dealer.
Just grand. Thank you, lad. That was the last number in the second series.
Hey, wait, Jack. This is my program, not yours.
Oh, pardon me. I'm so absent-minded.
Say, Mr. Crosby, who does us next week?
Well, next week, Gladys, we have a very jolly program with Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Stewart?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Stewart?
Cut that out. Does Jimmy Stewart buy you champagne?
Thanks very much.
This program was produced and transcribed in Hollywood by Bill Morrow and Murdo McKenzie. Tune in to Philco Radio Time next week and hear Bing Crosby, John Scott Stoddard, and his orchestra, the Willimaires, and Bing's guest, Jimmy Stewart. And keep your eye on your Philco dealer now for the newest thing in radio from Philco, the leader. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Day.
Wells in your eyes, and the smell of your smile.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dink Trout, John Brown, Charles Dant and the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing Feudin' and a Fightin'.
Feudin' and fussin' and a fightin'. Sometimes it gets to be exciting. Don't like them ornery neighbors down by the creek. We'll be plumb out of neighbors next week. Grandma, poor old Grandma, why they have to shoot poor Grandma? She lies neath the clover. Someone caught her bending over, picking up a daisy, feudin' and fussin' and a fightin'.
Pick up my heart, I love you.
This is the wrong that needs a rightin'. Let's get that funeral service over, so then we can start in a feudin' again. You must remember this, a kiss is just a kiss, a sigh is just a sigh as time goes by. Daughter, baby daughter, she poisoned all the neighbors' chickens. Now daughter had an order, at least till she could run like the dickens. They hit her with a shovel, feudin' and fightin' and a fussin'. No use of standing here a cussin'. Let's give our daughter a pistol now that she's 4 and go feudin' and fightin' some more. Well, what do you know?
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference.
And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth.
Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested.
And no wonder, for Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath.
So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy.
And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Well, they say truth is stranger than fiction, but maybe you better hold on to your hats for this one. Our own Dennis Day has been offered a job on the staff of the Weaverville Daily Bugle and to write, of all things, the society column. Well, the news has spread like wildfire. Even now, the Bugle switchboard is swamped with calls from people wishing to verify the rumor and cancel their subscriptions. And how did it all happen? Well, that's what our young hero's girlfriend Mildred would like to know, too.
Oh, golly, Dennis, it's just marvelous. But why should these people give an important job like that to you?
Why?
Well, sure, they don't know anything about you.
I know, but for once, that isn't the correct explanation.
Well, what is then?
Well, for weeks now, I've been sending in little squibs for their gossip columns, hoping someday to land a job.
Squibs? What kind of squibs?
Oh, little items that would shock and fascinate people, like who saw which film starlet at what nightclub recently with which other film star's what.
And they printed that?
Sure, names make news, you know.
Yes, I can see that.
And then, of course, there's my smear campaign. Every columnist has to have one of those.
Smear campaign?
Sure. I say, watch this column for the name of a movie actress who's had only one husband.
And then you print her name?
Well, we will. We're waiting for one to turn up.
And it's items like that got you the society editor's job?
Yep. The man who has the job is quitting, and they're going to let me try it for a while. And I know I can make good.
Oh, I do too, Dennis. Golly, you'll be mingling in high society. And just think what this job can mean for the two of us.
Well, Mildred, it's true that the society is high, but the salary is kind of slummy.
But surely they'll pay you more than Mr. Willoughby does.
Oh, sure. Nothing is that slummy.
Well, that's wonderful, then. And the prestige of it. You're going to be an important personage in this town.
Yeah.
People are going to recognize you at last.
Yeah.
And respect you.
Yeah?
Oh, certainly. Even my mother will respect you.
Oh, girl, come now. Let's not be flighty.
Dennis, think of the power you'll have over her. Mother'd do anything to get into a society column.
Gee, I never thought of that.
Of course. This is your chance to assert yourself, to stand up to her, to tell her off good.
Yeah, and have I got a few things to say to her? Boy, how I wish I could see her face when I do.
Well, why can't you?
I'm not that crazy. I'm going to write her a note.
Oh, no, you're not. You're going to do this in person.
In person? Mildred.
Dennis, I tell you, there's nothing to be afraid of. Mother must have heard about your new job by now, and I'll bet her attitude toward you has changed completely.
Well, are you sure? Gee, if you...
Dennis, you darling boy. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, looks like.
Good morning, Mother, Daddy.
Good morning, children. Dennis, is it true about you that you're to become society editor of the Bugle?
Yep, I start Monday morning.
Oh, how wonderful. You'll be one of the most important men in Weaverville, Dennis.
You ain't just wiggling your plates, kiddo. There's going to be a few changes around here.
Changes, dear boy?
You heard me. You've been yelling and screaming at me and kicking me around long enough. I'm sick and tired of being treated like one of the family.
Why, Dennis.
From now on, I want heat in my room, see? And I want the sheets of my bed changed regularly.
I change them every week, Dennis.
I know you do, but from now on, put on clean ones.
Of course, son.
Just remember, I'm a society editor. I write what I like about anybody I please.
Yes, I know.
That reminds me, I think my shoes are a little muddy.
Oh, could I shine them for you, Dennis? Could I, please?
You catch on quick. Hop to it, Cookie.
Oh, this very moment. Come along, Herbert.
Take it easy. I'll go when I feel like it.
Herbert, May I remind you that while Dennis's status has changed, yours is still the same.
Coming, lover girl.
Oh, Dennis, you were wonderful. Didn't I tell you could stand up to her and assert yourself?
Yeah, and she took it without a quiver. I think I broke her spirit.
I know. And some of the things you said.
Oh, that was nothing, my girl. Just wait till I start operating on Mr. Willoughby.
Your boss, too?
He's practically my ex-boss right now. This little ex-worm is going to turn all over him.
Well, it's about time, Dennis. Do you realize you're 10 minutes late?
Shut up!
What did you say?
You heard me, egghead.
Egghead?
That's right. For almost 2 years now, it's been Dennis, watch the soda fountain. Dennis, mop the floor. Dennis, do this. Dennis, do that. Work. 16 hours a day.
Now, look here.
The only difference between me and Uncle Tom was that he had a cabin.
Dennis, you listen to me.
Save it, Wendy. I just dropped in here to tell you that I'm through with this sweatshop. Mildred's outside waiting for me right now.
Well, that's fine with me. Now get out and take your silly telegram with you.
Telegram? What telegram?
Here, they phoned it in and I wrote it down.
Let's see. Please disregard our appointment. Present society editor not leaving at all. Have nothing else for you at the moment. Are you sure you got this right, sir?
Yes. I don't know what it means, but it was addressed to you.
It means I love you, Mr. Willoughby.
Huh?
Adore you, worship you. Can't live without you, not at the moment.
Oh. So now you want your job back, huh?
Oh, I've always spoken of this store as my second home, Mr. Willoughby.
You just call it a sweatshop.
My home gets overheated now and then, too.
You also said a few things about me personally. Some very nasty things, Dennis.
Why, Mr. Willoughby, precious. I always speak of you in the most complimentary terms.
You compared my head to an egg. You call that a compliment?
Oh, yes, sir. Have you priced eggs recently?
I don't care to discuss it any further, Dennis.
But think of the way I've done my job here, Mr. Willoughby. You'll never get another boy like me.
That's true. I'd have to be awfully careless. I'll do what I can to help you find another job, but you're through here. Now go.
Yes, sir.
Well, Dennis, did you tell him where to get off?
Yeah.
Well, what's the matter?
I couldn't persuade him to get back on again.
What are you talking about?
Well, I got a wire from the paper. The society editor isn't quitting after all, so there's no job for me.
Oh, my gosh.
You said it. And how about your mother? After the way I talked to her, I have a feeling she isn't going to leave me with any...
Any what?
Feeling.
Dear, if that darn society editor hadn't changed his mind about leaving, everything would have... Wait a minute.
Something?
Yes. Suppose he did quit. Suppose some big owner of a newspaper chain offered him a better job. He'd pack up and leave, wouldn't he?
Yeah. What's my name and how many papers do I publish?
Good boy. You're getting much quicker than you used to be.
Gee, look, he's got a private office. H. Austin Peterson, society editor. Do you really think he'll go for the story of me being a big publisher?
Well, he will if you're careful. Just keep your ears open. And if I think you might be making a mistake of some kind, I'll sort of clear my throat, okay?
Yeah, that's a swell idea.
Good. Now, remember, I'm your secretary. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Yes?
Mr. Peterson, I'm a man of few words. How would you like to work for me? Twice the salary you get here.
Why, who are you?
I'm a very wealthy newspaper publisher from Kansas City,
Kansas City? Well, imagine that. That's my hometown.
You're telling me, and I had the whole country to pick from, too.
Well, what do you know? So you're from Kansas City?
Yes. Kansas City, New Jersey, of course.
Oh, New Jersey. I don't believe I ever heard of that one.
Good. Well, as I say, Mr. I want you. You're a fine newspaper man, every inch of you.
Well, thank you, sir. I've tried to give my best for the Fourth Estate.
Good boy. Of course, I'm working on my fifth already. Oh, really? I thought I was going pretty good there. Well, anyway, there's my proposition, Mr. Peterson. You see, I know newspapermen started at the bottom myself in a newspaper office with $20 a week.
City desk?
No, as I recall, the newspaper owned it.
Is there something the matter with the young lady's throat?
My secretary? Oh, she just has a little cold.
Now, you'd better stop talking before she gets pneumonia.
Oh, Mr. Day's a little eccentric, like all geniuses, Mr. Peterson, but I assure you he's a splendid newspaper publisher.
You bet. Take an editorial, Miss Anderson.
You mean now?
Sure, I got a great idea to build up circulation. We're going to lampoon some big public figure. Call up Winchell and the other boys and see who isn't taken.
I think this has gone far enough. All right, friends, what's the game?
Game? Why, there's no game.
Oh, it's no use, Dennis. He's on to us.
Dennis, eh? Dennis Day. I thought that name was familiar. You're the little man who was after my job.
Oh, no, sir. I just thought as long as you were quitting.
I didn't quit. They fired me. Only I don't stay fired very long. I know where too many bodies are buried in this town. That's how I make my living, friend, from people who don't want certain stories in the paper.
Gee, you mean you aren't wholesome?
So what? Now beat it, both of you.
But isn't there any way for Dennis to get some kind of a job on that paper? Maybe a reporter's job.
Let him do what I did. Come up with a scoop, an exclusive. They hired me to get the story I had.
Gee, there's only one way I could do that, Mildred. Go home and tell your mother I'm not going to be a society columnist. I can see the headline now.
What?
Day draws to a close.
We'll continue this rather harrowing day in the life of Dennis Day in just a moment. Meanwhile, here's Dennis to sing Don't You Love Me Anymore.
Lately, whenever you hold me, you don't hold me tight. Don't you love me anymore? Lately, I have to remind you good night. Don't you love me anymore? I remember when I used to thrill you to the sky. Now I notice when we kiss, you don't even close your eyes. Maybe I'm just being silly to feel like I do. Am I the one that you adore, or don't you love me anymore?
Well, it looks like our hero's newspaper job has gone a-glimmering, and so, beaten, he's made his sad way back to Willoughby's store to get his things, knowing full well as he steps through the back door that nothing newsworthy ever happens in Weaverville. Say, wait a minute. Who are these two suspicious-looking characters hanging around the front of the store?
Okay, Sam, I got the door right where I want it. You sure you seen this Willoughby go out now? These daylight hoists make me nervous.
Ah, there ain't a soul here, I tell you. You stay here and watch the door. I'll take care of the cash register.
Make it fast, Monk.
Take it easy. I'll have everything.
Oh, yes, sir. Can I help you?
Stand where you are, cousin.
Oh, are we related?
No, cousin, but you're about to treat me like one of the family anyway. Do you know what I got in my hand?
How could I? It's in your pocket. Hey, wait a minute. You just gave me a great idea. Suppose you had a gun in that pocket. Suppose you had come in here to rob this store. Of course, it's ridiculous.
Huh?
Oh, please don't be insulted.
Au contraire. I'm fascinated.
Look, would you do me a favor? A favor that means everything to me? I need a news story badly. Would you pretend to hold up this store?
Pretend to hold up the store?
Sure. Walk out with the safe and the cash register. Oh, I know what you're thinking, that my mind is beginning to wander.
Oh, who cares? It's fun following it.
Well, would you do it for me? Take the stuff up to your house or someplace for a day or two. My boss won't mind. He's promised to help me. And he'll make a marvelous story. Don't you think so?
Oh, I just know I'm going to tell it to my kids. Okay, pal, you got a deal.
Oh, bless you.
Sam, forget the door and come here. This kid wants we should take all the stuff out of this store and hide it in our house for him.
Monk, you promised me you wasn't going to touch the stuff while you was working.
Ah, this is on the level, Sam. That's what the kid wants us to do. It's a sort of a game.
That's right, sir.
Say, might be jolly good sport at that, huh? Let's play.
Well, you two grab the safe and carry it out to your car, and I'll take the cash register.
Right. Let's go with the safe, Monk.
Okay.
Follow me, boys.
Steady now.
Yeah, there we go. Say, pal, you don't know any other places where we could play this game, huh?
No, I'm afraid not.
Ah, too bad. I was kind of hoping it was a trend.
Hey, wait a minute. A series of robberies. That would be even a bigger story. Oh, but you've sacrificed enough of your time already. I wouldn't dare ask any more.
Ah, go on, dare.
Well, if you'll be over at the Anderson house, 312 Elm Street, about 8, we'll clean that out, too.
Keep the silverware polished, pal. We'll be there. Come on, Monk.
Thanks a million, fellas. So long. Gee, what a story this'll make. You see, Dennis, when you need a great idea, it comes right out of your own little head. You don't have to go...
What are you doing here?
Oh, I just came back to get my things, Mr. Willoughby.
Do you know those two men who just drove off?
Oh, sure. They're very good friends of mine.
Oh, good. Shows you what imagination can do. They look to me just like the two crooks in the circular we got.
In a circular?
Yeah, you know, from the police. They're supposed to be in the town, Dennis, what's the matter with you? Your face is turning blue.
Yes, sir. It may never be any other shade from now on.
Oh, no, Dennis.
Yeah?
Oh, my soul and body. What did Mr. Willoughby say when he found out?
Nothing. He just stood there cracking his knuckles.
Is that all?
It was enough. He was cracking them against my skull.
Oh, golly.
All the same, his indifference to me has ripened into hatred.
Darn it all. Why couldn't something like that happen to that blackmailing Austin Peterson instead of you? If he made a blunder like that, they'd fire him and... Say.
Wow, what an idea.
Huh? What is it?
How do I know? I don't explain him. I just see him coming.
It's this, Dan. If he turned in a fake story and got shown up, he'd be through.
Yes, I guess he would.
Right. Now, let's see. What kind of a story would a man like that be interested in? I've got it. Ever hear of a love nest?
You bet. It's a candy bar.
I'm talking about a secret rendezvous, a lover's hideaway.
Oh, that stuff.
Yes. Now, listen. You get Mr. Peterson on the phone and tell him you're sorry for what you did to him this afternoon. And you want to make amends by tipping him off to a great story. When he hears it's a love nest, he'll come hot putting it over here and we'll have
If you're not on the level this time.
Of course I am. Here, you can see them through the window. See, she's holding hands with a Cuban boyfriend. Didn't I tell you?
Wait a minute. That's the dame who was with you this morning, your secretary.
I know, but in private life, she's my wife. Come on, I've been after that Latin gigolo of hers for a long time.
Hey, wait. Put away that gun.
Don't be silly. Let's go. Aha! So, I've caught you two at last.
Oh, Dennis.
Caramba, it is your Uzban, Chiquita Cortez.
Time for this, Gonzales. Now you must die.
Oh, no, Dennis.
Spare me, senor. Do not shoot me down like some low hot.
This is it, Gonzales. Die. This is it, Gonzales. Die. This is it, Gonzales. Die. Gonzales, you shall die as you've lived, by the knife.
Whoever said vaudeville was dead.
Take that, Gonzales.
Oh.
Dennis, he's dying. What have you done?
Killed him, wouldn't you say?
You would, huh?
See. You not see the blood on the shirt front?
Yes. I can even see the chopped olives and onions in it. Heinz's, isn't it?
No, it is. That's what makes Spanish blood so hot.
What kind of a chump you take me for, Dave? This is... Hiya, pal.
Here we are, friend, right on a dot of 8.
Oh, my gosh, the two crooks.
Sure, you invited the... Sam, he's got a gun.
Dennis, quick, point it at them.
Huh? Oh, yeah, all right, you two. Stick him out or stick him down. Stick him where you're supposed to stick him.
How do you like crap?
Hold them, Dennis. I'll call the police.
All right, keep them up, you.
Boy, you really pour it on, don't you, Dave?
But this is no fake. These two are wanted by the police, and I've captured them single-handed.
Yeah, and when you get them downtown, I'll bet one of them turns out to be Judge Crater. Well, so long, kid.
Wait, Mr. Peterson. This is the biggest story you ever had. Gee whiz.
There'll be a prowl car here in 2 minutes. Well, where's Mr. Peterson?
He left without the story.
Wonderful. Now it's your story. I'll bet you can sell it for $100.
Yeah, and you'll be the biggest hero in town. Mr. Willoughby will give you your job back in a minute.
Gee, I lead an unpredictable life, huh? Look,
kid.
don't you move either, you guys. I'll let you have it with this gun. Oh, that's right. I forgot it isn't... Oops, what I nearly said.
Dennis Day will be back in just 1 minute to sing How Soon. But first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, hair that gleams and glistens from a luster cream shampoo, hair bright, washed right, easy to do and dress right, hair that's soft and silky from a luster cream shampoo.
Yes, Luster Cream Shampoo leaves hair with new three-way loveliness, fragrantly clean, glistening with sheen, soft and easy to manage. Be a dream girl, a lovely Luster Cream girl.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, you owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
With Charles Dant and the orchestra, Dennis returns to our microphone to sing How Soon.
How soon will I be seeing you? How soon I wish I really knew. And when will you be saying words I want to hear? Tender little love words, story old, meaning clear. How soon will I be close to you and dance the way we used to do? I see your star eyes gleaming, don't mind me if I'm dreaming. Tell me, darling, now how soon? How soon will I be close to you and dance the way we used to do? I see your star eyes gleaming, don't mind me if I'm dreaming. Tell me, darling, now how soon?
Good night, everybody.
Next week, tune in to another Dennis Day Show brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair.
Remember, doctors prove the Palmolive plan brings 2 out of 3 women lovelier complexions in 14 days. And this beauty plan with Palmolive soap was tested on women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, even skin that was not clear. Yes, 36 doctors proved the 14-day Palmolive plan improves all types of skin, brings fresher, brighter, younger-looking complexions. So get Palmolive soap and start your 14-day Palmolive plan now.
This is Vern Smith reminding you that Dennis Day returns again next week, same time, same station. Join us then, won't you? Good night.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
If you like good beer, you'll find it pays to be curious and learn about Schlitz for yourself. And now, the Halls of Ivy.
That surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far,
Welcome once more to Ivy. Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. It's an exceptionally warm, lazy, hazy Saturday morning. And most of the college staff members who live on faculty roll are using the sun and their free time to excellent advantage. Professor Quincannon is trimming a hedge. Professor Warren is transplanting some flowering quince. Professor Heaslip is weeding his lawn. And Dr. William Todhunter Hall, Ivy's president, is upstairs in his bedroom asleep. Now his English ex-actress wife, Victoria, cautiously enters the room.
Toddy? Toddy? You awake?
No.
But you just answered me.
What did I say?
You said you weren't awake.
You may consider that statement as absolutely correct. I'm not awake.
Then what were you lying there giggling for?
I've just been deprived of what might have been the most interesting dream.
Oh? Well, what was your dream? Well, it's a personal question, I know. But you were smiling so contentedly just before you woke up that I was a little suspicious.
Your suspicions are completely justified, my dear. As I remember, I was standing on a verdant hillside, basking in the warmth of the sun, when I glanced up and saw a bewitching, provocative maid with flaxen hair advancing towards me with an armful of flax.
The brazen hussy. What happened then?
Then disaster. I was awakened.
It's a good thing. I will not tolerate my husband dreaming of other women.
Other women? Why, Vicky, my darling, the maid in my dream was you. And what a delightful picture you made. And that flux. Where did you get that flux?
Where did I get that flaxen hair? That's not all is the question.
Which I refuse to answer on the grounds that it is unfair, unethical, and because I have no answer. Now, why do you come stealing into my room to rob me of my slumber, my flower?
Well, don't you remember? It's D-Day.
Vicky, it is not D-Day. That was yesterday.
Yeah, I know. But you have a big red ring around today's date. And right below it is written, remember, another D-Day. Start early.
I made that notation?
But it's in your handwriting.
Well, it must be a forgery. That start early phrase is completely out of character for me. I don't like to start things early. I temporize, delay, fidget, procrastinate, and then do things in a rush at the last minute, muttering that I work best under pressure. which I don't, of course. What time is it?
Oh, it's almost 9.
D-Day. Dedication Day. Victoria, is there any special function going on at the college today? One that I might have forgotten?
No, dear, I'm quite sure there isn't.
Well, there's no point in worrying about it.
Well, it probably didn't mean anything.
D-Day. When's my next appointment with the dentist?
Next week.
That's good. How's the weather?
Couldn't be more perfect. Yeah, which reminds me, Mr. Weatherbee called. He asked if he could drop by a little later this morning.
Weatherbee?
Yes. I told him you'd be delighted to see him.
Well, that was a gross untruth. I'll see him, but I refuse to be delighted. Did he happen to say who he is and what he wants?
Yeah, he's the father of Phillip Weatherbee, one of the students. He's up here visiting his son, and I think he just wants to see you.
All right, Vicky, I think I'll have breakfast.
Well, good. It's much too nice a day to sleep.
That is a fallacy. There is no day so nice that sleep isn't nicer. Yes, today I shall take mine ease in mine inn, to quote loosely from Shakespeare, who must be quite used to it by now. As of now, I have completely amputated ambition from my schedule.
D-Day. The doctor declines to disturb his day with drudgery.
Initiation Day. Doomsday. Dog Day. Victoria, I am completely baffled. I have delved into every possible combination of words that start with D and go with day.
Oh, Toddy, forget it. I thought you weren't going to worry over that notation.
No, I'm not worried. I'm curious. I wonder if it might concern a donation. Well, isn't it early for callers?
It's probably Mr. Weatherbee. If it is, you want to see him alone?
Oh, good heavens, no. I don't want to see him at all. But if I must, I...
Oh, dear. I'll show him in.
Let me see. Derby Day. Diabolic Day. Democrats Day.
Yes, Mr. Weatherbee.
How do you do, sir? It's a pleasure.
Will you have some coffee?
No, thanks. I'm a farmer, Mrs. Hall. Early to rise, early to eat. I hope this isn't too early to call.
No, indeed, Mr. Weatherbee. I am an early riser myself.
I wanted to speak to you about my son, if you can spare me the time.
Plenty of time, Mr. Weatherbee. Come into my study. You'll be more comfortable there.
Just about winds up the story, Doctor. It wasn't easy to give Philip a proper education, and all I want is for him to amount to something. Is that too much to ask for a son?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's a rather common request among parents.
As far as I'm concerned, Doctor, it's more than a request. It's a demand. Philip has a good mind, and I won't allow him to let rot while he breaks his back on a farm.
Well, some fairly agile-minded men have been farmers. Abraham Lincoln, for instance.
Abe Lincoln was also a lawyer, Doctor. Philip is studying law. That's a real profession. Farming isn't a profession, it's an obsession. Even if you want to escape, you can't. It's got you, Doctor.
But look at what it gives in return.
Yeah, it gives you about 6 feet of itself for a final resting place. I don't want it for Philip, do you see?
Oh, yes, Mr. Weatherbee, I do see. And it must have taken great determination for you to have labored hard at the work you loathed, to give your boy an education.
Well, I'm not complaining about that, but you see, he sent me a wire, Doctor. That's why I'm here.
Oh?
Said he had something to tell me. When I got here, he said everything was all right after all, and for me to forget it.
Then I would advise you to do just that, Mr. Weatherbee.
No. No, something is wrong, Doctor. I know my son.
Yes, he asked me to say goodbye to you, darling, which I will now do with a kiss, thereby exceeding my instructions quite agreeably. There.
Well, thank you, Mr. Weatherbee.
Vicky, do you know Philip Weatherbee? Has he ever been here at the house?
Not that I know of. Why?
Now, something is evidently troubling the boy, and his father can't get to the bottom of it. I told him I would see Philip and, if possible, ferret out the difficulty. Will you remind me Monday?
I'll make a note of it now. As this is D-Day, we'll make Monday W Day for Weatherbee.
That's right. You know, Victoria, sometimes it frightens me when I think of the sacrifices parents make to put their young through school. Now, this man digs down in the soil. He... Vicky.
What is it?
The soil. That's it. How could I have forgotten? Today is D-Day. Dahlia Day. Today is the day I plant my dahlia bulb.
Oh. You?
Of course, me. Dahlia Day is an old custom in the Hall family. It dates way back to last year. Let me see. I believe the bulbs are down in the cellar.
I thought you were going to rest today.
My dear Victoria, the good fresh air, the thud of spade against sod, the pungent odor of newly turned earth. These things all provide their own form of relaxation.
A likely story.
Ah, yes, it does a man good to work outdoors. It gives him a chance to breathe, to develop muscles,
to develop backache.
It takes a great deal of time and care to do this job right. No half measures.
No cutting corners.
That's right. No cutting... Oh.
Now what?
Young Weatherbee, I just remembered who he is. Phillip Weatherbee cut his last class yesterday. Monday, he's going to be expelled.
Oh, no.
Yes. Apparently, Farmer Weatherbee has just had a crop failure.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
We'll return to the halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman, in just a moment. But first, let's hear how a man whose job is to find out about things for the people found out something for himself.
I'm a research man with a large organization. One of those fellows who asks people questions to find out the why of things. As you might suspect, I'm not given to snap judgments. A few weeks ago, I had my first bottle of Schlitz beer at a social gathering. My immediate reaction was, here's the finest beer I've ever tasted. And I believe I'd heard someone say that Schlitz is the largest selling beer in the country. However, professional experience has made me wary of first impressions. And I'm not one to be swayed by impressive statements. So I decided that the proper thing to do was to purchase a case of Schlitz beer and conduct a thorough test, using myself as the subject. I did just that. I tried Schlitz while reading in the evening, after a round of golf, with a bedtime snack, and in my backyard hammock, while considering whether or not to mow the lawn. I have now finished my test and have evaluated the results. I have also finished that first case and have ordered a second. I believe that I can say without reservation, no wonder Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Dr. and Mrs. Hall out in their own backyard, busily engaged in affairs of the soil.
There. That should be enough for the trowel. Now, Vicky, do you have a ruler?
You don't need one, Doctor. You're every inch a gardener. But here you are.
Thank you. Don't be facetious, young lady. It's serious business. We dahlia growers take a great deal of pride in our work. Dahlia growing is a man's hobby. A woman just doesn't understand, see?
Maybe not. But a woman's hobby is man, especially when that man is her husband. And most especially when he's been kneeling on the damp ground for over an hour in an attitude of prayer, which will probably be answered with arthritis, rheumatism, housemaid's knee.
Vicky, please.
Just why have you been poring over that hole?
This hole, as you call it, is the aperture where the tuber rests. It should be no more, no less than 6 inches deep. Now, let's see by actual measurements just how closely I hit it. I'll take that ruler, and we'll just...
Darby, you did it. That hole is exactly 6 inches.
Oh, my dear, there's nothing. It merely takes a practiced eye, a steady hand, and a trowel with a 6-inch blade.
I'm proud of you. That's quite a trick.
Oh, no. The trick is to repeat this gargantuan feat at several properly spaced intervals.
Do you mean you've got to dig some more?
Oh, certainly. This gaping earth wound is only sufficiently large for one tuber. I have 4 dozen. Vicky, you do like them, don't you? Dahlias?
Well, William, I'm beginning to realize that this may well ruin what has been a perfect marriage. But I'm afraid that if one came up and threw itself at my feet, I couldn't call it by name.
You mean that you're not familiar with this beautiful flower?
To put it briefly, Doctor, yes, I'm not.
Well, despite the fact that you've just committed a grammatical outrage by using a positive with a negative...
Oh, should I have said yes, I am, not?
You're only making it worse, my darling.
Yeah, well, let's talk about dahlias.
Well, there are several thousand varieties to choose from. They grow in size from dwarfs to giant 6-footers. They get impatient to take root at the first sign of maturity. They are heavy feeders and not the least bit fussy about the soil.
Say, that's pretty good, Doctor.
Oh, what's that?
Here I am, sir, over by the fence. Mind if I come in for a minute?
Well, not at all. The gate's over there.
Oh, I don't need the gate. I'll just vault over. Hi, Mrs. Hall.
Hi. Where did you come from?
Oh, I was just going by. I saw you and Dr. Hall out here, and I was just curious. Doctor, do you mind if I ask, what are you doing?
I'm planting dahlias, young man.
On this side of the house?
What's wrong with this side of the house? Is there some superstition about it? Like planting potatoes in the dark of the moon?
Not enough sun. Dahlias thrive on it. Now you take the other side of the house.
I have no intention of taking the other side of the house. The soil is too poor.
Oh, your dahlias.
I'm of that opinion, too.
But if they were my dahlias, I'd plant them on the other side of the house.
Indeed.
If the soil isn't so good, you can fix that in a hurry.
I can I?
Sure. Just take a couple of handfuls of bone meal and work it into the ground. About 2 feet around the spot where each tuber will be planted ought to do it.
Is that so?
Well, sure. Come over here. I'll show you. Say, who takes care of this yard anyway?
Every gardener who comes once a week.
Well, I wouldn't call him a gardener, Mrs. Hall. Look at the Prunella vulgaris. What are you going to do about that, Doctor?
Well, Victoria, suppose you tell the young man what we are going to do about the Prunella vulgaris.
We're going to get rid of it.
See, young man, my wife is quite an authority on gardening matters.
Yes, she is, Doctor. I'm just surprised that she hasn't gotten on that gardener's tip. I'm surprised she hasn't had him do something about it. That's a killer weed. It'll choke out your lawn. It ought to be sprayed.
Yes. I was just telling my husband he ought to go...
Victoria, yours may be just a chance laurel, but I would suggest that you rest on it, my dear.
Maybe you're right. I think I will. Have you any more suggestions, young man?
Well, No, I guess I've made too many already.
Oh, not at all. You've been most helpful. You appear to know a great deal about all this.
Oh, I dabble around in it. I take care of a few yards in town. It gives me a chance to get my hands in the dirt. I like to make things grow. Someday I'd like to have my own farm. Oh, not a big one, just enough land to grow some fruit, maybe some vegetables.
Are you in the School of Agriculture, Mr.
Weatherbee, Mrs. Hall. Phillip Weatherbee. No, not agriculture. I was in the School of Law.
still don't understand, Philip, why you allowed yourself to get in this predicament. If you had discussed the matter with your faculty advisor, he could have approached your father. This situation could have been helped.
I don't think so, Dr. Hall.
Here, let's sit down in the shade while Mrs. Hall is getting us something to drink. Yes, much better. Now, why don't you think so?
You don't know my father, Doctor. The minute I mention ag school, he... Well, you just don't know.
Oh, I think I do know. Your father has his heart set on your becoming a lawyer. Isn't that right?
Right. When I was a little boy, he used to introduce me as my son, the future lawyer. All my life, I've heard nothing but law.
Well, he seemed to me to be a very sensible man.
Do you know my dad, Dr. Hall?
Yes, I do. He was here earlier today. He came because he was worried about you.
Yes, sir, I know. How did he take the news?
What news?
About my getting the boot. Expelled. Oh, I would have told him myself, but I didn't have the nerve.
Philip, I didn't tell your father.
You didn't? Why not, Doctor? He'll have to know.
Well, frankly, at the time he was here, the fact had slipped my mind. And, to be perfectly honest, I'm glad of it.
You are?
Yes, I think I see a way to solve this problem. If you're willing to take an entrance examination.
To get back in law? No, thank you, Doctor.
No, not in law. In the School of Agriculture. Are you willing?
Am I? Oh, brother.
In a sense, it would mean starting over.
Do you think I mind that, Dr. Hall? Why, I... Oh, what's the use? It won't work. If I studied to be a farmer, it would kill my father.
Well, perhaps I can do something, Philip, to persuade him. At any rate, I'll do my best. I'll call him right now.
Don't go on, Dr. Hall. I won't listen to it.
Well, I'm very sorry about that. It leaves me no other course than to expel him.
There are other schools, Dr. Hall.
Yeah, that's quite true. However, Philip's marks will hardly serve as a passport into any school. There are standards.
He can be tutored. This agriculture stuff is just some crazy kid idea that he's going to be a lawyer.
Mr. Weatherbee, I've been in what you might call the education business for a long time. I've seen, literally, thousands of youngsters suddenly come to a realization that they are headed the wrong way, and then make new starts. Your son, Philip, is one of them. One of the lucky ones. One who has, as they say in the ministry, heard the call. I think your son is a dedicated man. I doubt if you can erase the dedication.
If I don't, it won't be because I didn't make a stab at it. He thinks farming is high adventure, romantic. I've tried it, and I know he's wrong. I missed out. I don't want him to.
Would you care to explain how you missed out, Mr. Weatherbee?
Mrs. Hall, you're sitting near the bookcase. I notice you've got several bound volumes of Ivy annuals. Is there one there that includes the annual of 1920?
Why, yes, I believe there is. Wait, I look to be positive, but I can tell you definitely in a minute. Yes. Here it is, 1920.
Do you mind turning to page 263?
Not at all. There. I got it.
Those snapshots were taken in my freshman year at Ivy. Look down at the bottom of the page, Mrs. Hall, at the middle snapshot. Would you mind reading the caption under the picture?
Here. It says, Weatherbee is more fun than Tom Sawyer, but we doubt that he'll ever be a lawyer.
Well, I didn't realize.
You won't find my picture among the graduates. During my sophomore year, I left school by academic request.
Mr. Weatherbee, surely you're not going to force your son into the profession he despises simply because you made a mistake.
Dr. Hall, just because Philip has been wasting his time.
You have been wasting Philip's time, Mr. Weatherbee. It's the same thing as if my father had forced me to be a veterinarian simply because he had always wanted to be one.
Now you're being ridiculous, Doctor. I can't imagine you as anything but a professor or a college president.
Can't you? Here, look. Here we are. Will you read this, Victoria? The caption under this picture.
William T. Hall. He'll get there yet. But horses alive. He ain't no vet.
It's a bit ungrammatical, I'll admit, but...
But Dr. Hall, you, a vet? Why, that would have been a terrible mistake.
Exactly, Mr. Weatherbee. Thousands of animals probably owe their lives to the fact that I took up teaching. You see my point about Philip?
Well, Yes. I think maybe I do.
Chair all evening. You feeling all right?
It's a very comfortable chair, darling, and I am perfectly all right.
Not even a broken back from burying that one poor unhappy tuber.
No. I'm fine. Don't worry.
William?
Yes, dear?
Did you really take that that horse course? I remember you telling me about it before.
I've been sitting here thinking, aren't the verses under those annual pictures simply awful?
That doesn't answer my question.
What question?
Sorry, no.
Very well. I did not take a veterinary course. That's possibly why I never mentioned it.
That's a picture.
That was my cousin, William T for Terence, Hall.
Oh, you are a fraud.
No, not at all. If you recall, my dear, I didn't say that I had studied to be a vet. Mr. Weatherbee merely jumped to that happy conclusion.
Jumped, he was pushed.
Yes. For the first time in his life, I found my cousin Terence to be useful. I might go so far as to say that I accomplished a difficult task by a relatively simple device. Terence Hall being one of my simpler relatives.
All's well that ends in the School of Agriculture, or to that effect. Yeah, I'm glad for young Philip.
Yes, although just between the two of us, I can't understand his choice.
Why, Dr. Hall, I'm surprised. This morning you spoke in glowing terms of work in a great outdoors.
Well, that was this morning. Since then, I've had painful reason to change my mind.
Now it comes out.
Yes, my dear.
Well, you can get outside tomorrow and loosen up again. Aren't you going to plant another dahlia bulb?
Well, to put it briefly, my dear, and to quote an old friend, yes, I'm not. Let those who will be garden lovers while William sleeps beneath the covers.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
And here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Be sure to see Ronald Coleman's latest picture, Champagne for Caesar. We'll be seeing you next week at this time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. The other players were Bill Thompson as Mr. Weatherbee and Conrad Binion as Philip. Tonight's script was written by Cameron Blake and Don Quinn. Our music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. Here's exciting news for Ivy fans. There's a grand story about Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman and the Halls of Ivy in Look magazine, now on the newsstand. The Halls of Ivy was created by Don Quinn, directed by Nat Wolf, and presented by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Coming up, it's The Great Gildersleeve on NBC.
It isn't Mildred's Pierce, kiddies.
The makers of Tenderleaf Tea and Bluebonnet Margarine present The Fred Allen Show. With Fred's guests Martha Raye, Portland Hoffa, Minerva Pius as Mrs. Nussbaum, the Tenderleaf Workshop Players, the DeMarco Sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And if you're wondering who I am, my name is Kenny Delmont. Ladies and gentlemen, this is National Radio Week. To observe the occasion auspiciously, we wanted to bring you a radio big shot. But all we could get was a blank. And here he is, Fred Allen.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Kenny, this week radio celebrates its 25th year of broadcasting. Think of that, 25 years and still in its infancy. You know, the first radio program I heard was from Pittsburgh station KDKA way back in 1920.
How was the first broadcast, Fred?
Oh, it was quite exciting, Kenny. The announcer came on and said, "This is Pittsburgh." The next thing I knew, cinders started flying out of my crystal set. Smoke came pouring out of the earphones. The coil turned into a hot coal. The wires melted down and spelled out John L. Lewis on the floor.
Well, in 1920, radio must have been a lot different, too.
Oh, all of the programs were new then, Kenny. Mr. District Attorney was still going to law school back in those days. The National Barn Dance was just one rube doing a hoedown in a silo. Bulldog Drummond was just part of a litter back in 1920. And radio had yet to hear those two famous words,
Mr. Allen!
Well, Portland. Say, you got a lot of applause tonight.
My aunt with the big hands is here.
Your aunt with the big hands, huh? Well, tell me, Portland, we probably use it the way things start off. Tell me, Portland, are you celebrating National Radio Week?
No, Mama and I are celebrating the end of shoe rationing.
Oh, good, good.
Mama says now that song will be back on the hit parade again.
What song?
Shoo, shoo, baby.
You should spray that joke with DDT, Portland. It's lying there, but it isn't quite dead yet. Say, how can you buy shoes today? Aren't the stores crowded?
Oh, it's awful. My salesman had 4 women's feet in his hands at once.
Say, that beats a full house, 4 feet. Say, he must have been terribly mixed up.
Oh, he was. When I left the shoe store,
yes,
on one foot I was wearing a wedgie.
And on your other foot?
I had a sneaker.
A wedgie and a sneaker, huh? With one leg longer than the other, how did you ever get home?
I walked along 5th Avenue with one foot in the gutter.
Oh, that's fine. I hope you didn't step on anybody we know. And speaking of stepping, we'd better start stepping down to Allen's Alley, Portland.
What is your question tonight?
Well, I was going to use that one we heard earlier in the evening about the man who was sitting in Mildred's Piers, but I changed my mind. You know, this week the $11 billion victory loan drive started throughout the country, and since the government is asking all of us to buy more bonds, Portland, our question is, are you doing your part in the victory loan drive?
Shall we go?
As one little doggie said to the other little doggie, let's get along. Gosh, it's good to be back in Allen's Alley again, isn't it, Portland? Now, I wonder if the senator is in.
Somebody, I say somebody now.
Now, look, Senator.
Claghorn's the name, Senator Claghorn, that is.
I know what...
I represent the South. I'm from Dixie. That's down south.
Well, you keep telling me that...
Yeah, let me talk, son.
Well, all I'm trying...
Let me get a word in. A word, you understand?
That's all I know. I know.
You keep running off at the mouth, son.
I haven't even...
Yada-da, that is.
Look, Senator, what is Washington doing about the victory loan drive?
Well, I say, Congress is all excited. Senator Ball is bouncing.
Fine.
I said Ball is bouncing. That's a joke, son.
Well, I suspected it.
You ain't very humorous, son.
Well, I do the best I can.
They keep getting by you.
Well, I do the best I can to stop them, Senator. But they're so sticky, I don't like to touch them. Tell me, Senator, are you...
Makes a lot of pauses in that.
We have any pauses left over. We could use the short ones, for station identification. Tell me, Senator, are you behind this victory loan?
I overdone it, son. I can't go back home.
You can't go south?
I told my constituents to buy bonds. Buy victory bonds, I said.
I see.
Our army has won the war, I said.
Good.
Our army is coming home victorious, I said.
Well, why can't you go back down south, Senator?
They thought I meant the Confederate Army.
Oh.
So long, that is.
So long, Say, a piece of corn pone fell out of the senator's pocket here. Oh, well, I'll give it to him next Sunday. Well, let's move along to Titus Moody's door.
Howdy, Bob.
Say, Mr. Moody, you look a little tired tonight.
Yeah, my Sears Roebuck catalog come yesterday. I was up all night reading it.
You couldn't put it down, eh?
Couldn't wait to see how the story come out.
Gosh, well, Mr. Moody, I know you're doing your part in the victory loan drive.
Yeah, I bought $500 worth of bonds.
You put them in the bank?
I buried them in my backyard.
You hid your money in the ground? Why?
Well, a fellow, he told me, he says, you can't take it with you.
And you?
I thought I'd try it.
Well, burying your money sounds like a good idea.
Not so good, Bub.
What happened?
Gophers.
Gophers, eh?
They dug down where I had my money buried.
You mean the gophers ate up all of your bonds?
Couldn't tell my $500 from a hole in the ground. Hold on, Bub.
Mr. Moody's going to have a hard time trying to spend those occupation gophers. Well, I'll try this next house.
No?
Well, Mrs. Nussbaum, I'm sure you're doing your bit in the victory loan drive.
I'm auctioning off my furniture.
Really?
My goal is $100 bonds.
What furniture did you put up?
First, my coffee table.
Uh-huh.
For $12, it is going, gone.
$12 for a coffee table, huh?
Oh, it's a genuine Chippendale.
Oh, Chippendale. Fine.
Next, for $50 is going my pickle pine log tree.
Pickle pine. Another valuable piece?
A Duncan Feinstein.
Duncan? I see.
Then is going job lot. Teapots, high boys, low boys, assorted bric-a-brac.
Most of your things were gone, huh?
Like old Mother Hubbard, mine cupboard is bare. You'll pardon the expression.
Yes. But you made your $100 goal?
I am $3 short.
Well, how did you raise the last $3?
In the kitchen, I'm finding 2 chairs.
2 chairs?
Mine rocking chair and mine husband Pierre's Morris chair.
And you,
I am selling Pierre's chair. Eureka! I am making mine go.
Well, if you sold your husband's chair, what is he sitting on now?
What he's always sitting on, silly Billy.
Well, here we are at the last house in the alley. I'll see if anyone's home here.
Oh, it's you, the pest again.
Ah, McGee and McGee. I'll bet you boys have written some new songs this week.
You bet. Have you heard? It's watermelon time in Waterbury, baby, so I can't elope with you.
Now, wait a minute. Now, look. I just stopped by to say I'm checking to see if everybody is behind the victory loan drive.
Great. We just wrote a new victory bond song.
Victory bond song? How does it go?
Here's Sam. Casey ain't dancing, romancing, or such. He's just buying bonds. The war may be won, but the job isn't done. Casey's buying bonds. Casey's sending his dough for that small bungalow that he'll share with his strawberry blonde. 'Cause she is a whack, and until she gets back, Casey's buying bonds.
And now that McGee and McGee have torn their tune apart, we bring you 5 little girls who will put one together for you. The DeMarco sisters, accompanied by Maestro Al Goodman and his Atomic Orchestra, now sing Bell-Bottom Trousers.
Once there was a little girl who lived next to me, and she loved a sailor boy. He was only 3 now. He's on a battleship in his sailor suit. Just a great big sailor man, but he's just as cute. Bell-bottom trousers, full of navy blue. She loves her sailor, and he loves her too. Once there was a little girl who lived next to me, and she loved a sailor. He was only. Now he's on a sailor, just a great big sailor man, but he's just as cute. Rock, 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 L-A-D-Y, navy. Bell-bottom trousers, corn of navy blue. She loves her sailor, and he loves her too. Sailing, sailing, give me those bell-bottom trousers, corn of navy blue. And she loves her sailor, and he loves her too. Loves her too, loves her too, loves her too. Do I?
Thank you, children. And now, Kenny, with a word to the wives.
You can trust Her Majesty, the American housewife, to be practical every time. She wants finer tea in its most convenient form. So she buys Tenderleaf brand tea balls. They outsell all other kinds in America because they're better in every way. Easy to handle, more convenient, more gracious. Above all, they make finer tea. Because the tea leaves inside the individual packets is famous for flavor Tenderleaf brand tea. Always supremely delicious. And the packets are made of tasteless filter paper, a vast improvement that filters your tea as it's being made. It comes out clear and sparkling, unmarred by specks. There's nothing but tea goodness in your cup. And tea goodness means quick comfort when you need it most. When you want the quick comfort of a bracing cup of delicious Tenderleaf tea, just drop a Tenderleaf tea ball in your cup, add boiling water, and it's ready. So for every good reason, ask your grocer for Tenderleaf brand tea balls.
Maestro Al Goodman has just presented a Reader's Digest version of that popular song, If I Loved You. And now, say, Portland, will you hand me my pitch pipe over there on the floor, please?
Is this it?
Yes, thank you. Any bombs today? Any bombs today?
What are you doing, Mr. Allen?
What does it sound as though I'm doing? Any bombs today? Bombs of freedom? Yeah. Well, you can laugh. Let me tell you, the Treasury Department, all the dealings I've had with them and can't pronounce the name, heard me singing with Frank Sinatra last week.
The Treasury Department?
You know, Barry Wood did all of the singing in the last bond drive. Well, the Treasury Department wants me to sing for the Victory Loan. Why, I may be another Lucy Monroe before I'm through. Any bombs today?
Gosh, Mr. Allen, if you sing like that, you'll get $11 billion thrown at you.
$11 billion in pennies is still $11 billion, Portland. Well, I'm singing on the Staten Island Ferry tomorrow at 11 o'clock. If the wind is right, they'll hear me all over Jersey. They think they have flats in Jersey. Wait till they hear me in the morning.
Who is our guest tonight?
Guest? Oh, I knew I had forgotten something, Portland. You know, I've been so busy. Yesterday I had to go down to the song publishers to get a copy of Any Bonds Today. Well, I got there early and nobody was around. I thought I'd wait in one of the rehearsal rooms, so I opened the door, and there was a quiet-looking young girl sitting there studying some lyrics. I passed by her window, I think was the name of the song. And as I came in, she looked up and said softly,
Hiya, Faye, oh boy, Faye, hiya, Faye.
I didn't mean to barge in on you, Martha. I'm sorry.
Oh, forget it. Slap the carcass down over here.
At my age, Martha, one does not slap the carcass. One lowers it gently.
Well, lower it gently, Fred. The creaking won't bother me.
You sure? You come across an occasional one as we go along. But Martha, you seem depressed. You look as though you had lost a friend.
Fred, I just lost 1 million friends.
What happened?
The fleet left town.
Now, don't tell me your boyfriend was the Romeo of the Big Mo.
Oh, he was the cutest little sailor, Fred.
A little sailor?
He was so small, his dog tag was a Pekingese.
Would you like to run over that again? Now, there's some stuff. It may be with us. I'm not sure. So small, he's a sort of a sample sailor. Was he romantic in a miniature way?
Romantic? When I smiled.
Yes?
He said it was like a landing barge opening up.
Well, as long as you've missed your sailor friend, Martha, how about going out with me?
Are you kidding?
Well, you know the old Navy saying, any old port in a storm.
It ain't that stormy, Fred.
Martha, there are people, believe it or not, who think that I am not unpretty.
Fred, at carnivals, I have thrown baseballs at better-looking faces.
Martha, for your information, I have my own hair, I have my own teeth. No other radio comedian can make that statement. So what do you say, Martha? Let's go jitterbugging.
You a jitterbug, Fred? Are you too old to jit?
A man is never too old to jit, Martha. I read about a jitterbug who was 97 years of age. The day he was buried, a voice was heard coming from within his coffin.
What did the voice say?
Dig me, brother, dig me. Well, Martha, I have to run along. I've got to learn my song.
But I have to rehearse my song, too.
Really?
I'm opening at the Carnival Room in a couple of weeks.
Say, as long as you're going to be in town, how about coming on my program some Sunday?
Oh, I'm through with comedy, Fred. I'm going in for drama.
You, a dramatic actress?
Fred, while I was playing overseas for the USO, I learned that soldiers aren't looking for comedy in a woman.
Well, I know that, Martha. And what they're looking for, you are not going to find in Noel Coward, either. Won't Hollywood give you a chance to do it? We could have used some of that on two of those other jokes. Won't Hollywood give you a chance to do a dramatic picture?
Hollywood? 10 years in Hollywood, and what have I got to show for it? 200 sweaters and Sonny Tuft's autograph.
Sonny Tuft's? Gad, they've taught him to write. Paramount did it again.
Oh, if I just had a chance to show my dramatic ability.
Say, I just remembered, Martha. It so happens that I have a play.
A drama? Gosh, Fred.
Now, if you have a little time...
Just a minute, Fred. The band is waiting to rehearse my number. I'll be right back. Okay, boys. Tampico, on the go for Mexico. Tampico, that's the place to go. Tampico, where banana boats all go. Tampico, down in Mexico. Now when you're making the round, let me give you a tip. Don't think the natives are square. They're very, very hip. Oh, Tampico, on the Gulf of Mexico. Tampico, that's the place to go. The temperature is very high, so when you're out courting a maid, don't try to get too romantic at 101 in the shade. Tampico, on the Gulf of Mexico. Tampico, that's the place to go. You go down there to relax and to get away from the dive. A native greets you and says, Jackson, give me 5 Zeus. Tampico, on the Gulf of Mexico. Tampico, way down in Mexico.
Tampico Oh, say, that was swell, Martha.
Oh, thanks, Fred. Hey, now, what about your play? Is it a dramatic? Pardon me,
It's a dramic. It's a dramic. It's a dramic with some tender leaf tea in there. It's a sequel to that... It's a sequel. Let's read between the lines. I think it's a sequel to that new picture, Love Letters, Martha.
Love Letters, that big hit Jennifer Jones and Joseph Cotton are starting?
Yes, Love Letters, but my play is called Mash Note. You are a girl like Jennifer Jones. You have lost your memory. And the way I play Joseph Cotton, you'll think a boll weevil has just gotten through it.
Let's go, Fred.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the premiere performance of America's newest dramatic star, Miss Martha Raye, in Mash Note.
I am Bennington. That is my name. I cannot remember my name. I cannot remember anything. The reason I cannot remember anything is because I have lost my memory. I remember only one word out of my forgotten past. One word keeps echoing through my mind. Always that one word.
Murgatroyd.
Murgatroyd. That word was the only link to my past. One day my empty life was brightened. I met him.
Yes, Bennington met me. I am Lord Neville Buff Puffington, keeper of the Privy Seal, alto fifer in His Majesty's Warm Stream Guards. At the last election, given the boot with Winston Churchill. Yes, it was I who won the art of Bennington, but I shall start at the beginning. It was at the beginning it all started, obviously. It was Michaelmas Eve at Lady Cavendish's Fish and Chip Fry. Music was playing. Rather. It was a social event of the season. A group of us young dandies had gathered. I was standing by the harpsichord. I was about to give it a bit of a tweak when I heard a chap say...
I say, here comes Lady Cavendish, but you went out with her niece. Oh, gentlemen.
How'd you do?
You do.
You do?
You do.
You do. You do.
This is my niece, Bennington.
You do.
You do. You do. You do. You do.
Bennington, you may remain and regale Lord Buff Puffington.
Yes, milady.
Come, gentlemen. We're having such beastly fun in the tassel room. We're pulling them.
I say, Bennington.
Yes, my lord.
We Buff Puffingtons never beat about the bush, you know.
Yes, my lord.
If we have something to say, we jolly well out with it. Tippity-poo and all that sort of rot, you know.
Yes, my lord.
Bennington, will you marry me?
Yes, my lord.
Congratulations, old girl.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I was to be Lady Buff Puffington. He didn't know my mind was a blank. Only one word tied me to my forgotten past. Always the same word.
Murgatroyd.
And so we were married. It wasn't long before I sensed that something was wrong with Bennington. She was incessantly forgetting. Forever she seemed to be saying...
I can't remember.
When I would say, Bennington, I'm off for a bit of croquet. Where are my wickets?
I can't remember.
Bennington, I'm going frogging tonight. Where is my frog net with the short handle?
I can't remember.
Finally, it dawned on me. My wife had lost her memory. I sent for England's greatest psychiatrist, Sir Proctor Prendable Bob. The psychiatrist said...
Your wife has suffered a great shock.
Really?
It caused her to lose her memory.
Shock, you say?
She must have witnessed some terrible scene.
Terrible scene?
Someone in agony.
Agony.
Someone tortured. There is only one clue.
One clue, you mean?
The name Murgatroyd.
Anything else, Doctor?
Yes, that would be £2.
Thank you. Murgatroyd, the only clue. I called on the police. To the four corners of the earth, they cabled that name.
Murgatroyd, Murgatroyd. Murgatroyd, Murgatroyd. Murgatroyd, Murgatroyd.
Then success. Scotland Yard found the solution. Bit by bit, they pieced together my wife's tragic past. At last I knew. I summoned her. Bennington, I say, Bennington.
Who are you?
I am your mate, Lord Buff Puffington.
I can't remember.
Your memory will soon come back, old girl. Listen closely. You recall Murgatroyd?
Murgatroyd?
Murgatroyd. An accountant at Hollywood, California, in the colonies when you were there.
My memory. It's coming back. Murgatroyd. I worked for him.
Right. Then one day in March, one of Murgatroyd's clients came into his accountant's office, remember?
Stop. Don't bring that horrible picture to my mind again. No.
There in Murgatroyd's office, you saw the sight that drove you out of your mind.
No.
You witnessed a man going through the agonies worse than death. A scene of self-torture and suffering no other mortal could possibly witness without breaking.
No.
Yes, Bennington. You saw Jack Benny paying his income tax. Kenny, with a parting reminder.
A suggestion about something good to eat makes us all take notice. So here's one for the book. Remember the letters F&E for flavor, nutrition, economy. Bluebonnet Margarine gives all three: flavor, nutrition, economy. Yes, when you buy Bluebonnet Margarine, ladies, you get three important things. You get flavor, delicious flavor. The fussiest eater in your family will go for Bluebonnet. It's so fresh, delicate tasting, country sweet. You get nutrition, proved nutrition. Delicious Bluebonnet is packed with food energy, rich in vitamin A, too. And Bluebonnet means economy. This fresh, tempting spread saves you real money. Why, it costs so little you can spread it on twice as thick. And remember, Bluebonnet Margarine is a product of the makers of Fleischmann's yeast. Back of every pound stands the Fleischmann reputation for top-quality foods. You can buy Bluebonnet with confidence and eat it with real delight. So ask your grocer for Bluebonnet tomorrow. It's the margarine that gives you flavor, nutrition, economy. All three.
Thank you, Kenny. Before we stack up the tender-leaf tea bags and put away the Bluebonnet Margarine for the evening, I want to thank Martha Raye for joining us tonight. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday night, the Fred Allen Show brings you comedy. Drama.
Joe, don't take my life.
Okay, I'll take your Esquire instead.
And our guest will be...
Monty Woolley.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.